Hey guys, today's video is a step-by-step full tutorial that'll take you from beginner to expert selling print-on-demand products on one of the world's largest e-commerce websites, Etsy. It's going to be a long one because I'm not skipping over any detail. I'm going to show you the full process that you need to know to succeed. And at the end, I'm going to show you how to fully automate your entire Etsy business. So strap in. It's going to be a long one, but it's packed with value. Let's get started. So we're focusing exclusively on Etsy in this video. A great tip is that if you're trying to sell something, follow the customers, and Etsy presents a huge opportunity for us sellers to get our products in front of a global audience. Now, this video is a long one because of how much content I am going to cover. Now, I've basically split it up into 4 sections, and I'm going to include timestamps on the YouTube video so you can jump ahead if you feel like you've already got this section or that section covered. But we've got our introduction section where I'll help you get started on Etsy and open your shop. Then we've got a long section that's focused on succeeding as a seller, a lot of the best practices for creating successful product listings. After that, a shop manager tutorial, because as you create more and more listings on Etsy's marketplace, it can kind of balloon into a real business, and the shop manager is how you oversee all of your aspects of your business. And then as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to fully automate your Etsy business. We'll talk about selling digital files, which is a really nice complement for print-on-demand products on Etsy. And then we'll talk about after Etsy, even exiting your Etsy business. So all of those things you can look forward to. I would also recommend, since this is a long video, if you don't finish it, save it to your watch later on your YouTube account. That way you can always come back to it and it'll find its way in front of you, even if you forget about it, right? YouTube, when it's on your watch later, they will pop it into your home feed. All right, so real quick, guys, my name is Ryan Hogue. I used to work 9 to 5 as a senior web developer, and I would teach web development at nights. But fortunately, passive income has set me free. I follow what I have coined Ryan's method. That's my approach to making passive income online. It is a complementary approach. So not only do I sell on Etsy, but I sell through Amazon FBA, Amazon Merch, Amazon KDP. I sell through other avenues like Etsy, for instance. That's very complementary to those things that I just mentioned. And I also realized a couple years later that I could talk about my experience as a seller on YouTube, and that added an additional income stream. So life is good, you know what I mean? But I've planted a lot of seeds and cultivated them over time. You know, I'm 5+ years into this. So if you are really dedicated long-term and you don't lose sight of the fact that it's a long-term business, you too can be successful with your passive income journey. Also, I publish daily sales updates to my Instagram. If anybody wants to follow me there, I'll put a link in the description. You can check out my daily sales. Let's get started now, jumping into Etsy. The first thing I wanted to show you guys is we can use SimilarWeb to kind of spy on Etsy's web traffic. It is estimated to be the 68th most popular website in the world, doing over $1 billion in annual revenue. If you didn't know, it's actually publicly traded, so you can also buy shares of Etsy if you're an investor. If you go to Google Trends and you compare Etsy to Amazon and eBay, you'll notice that Etsy actually is closing the gap on eBay, which is the yellow line. I'm kind of blocking it here. But as time moves forward, it looks like Etsy's eventually going to jump eBay in terms of popularity, and Amazon is kind of maintaining its dominance up there. I do recommend, for the record, also selling on both Amazon and eBay, because the more online real estate you occupy with products that you're selling, the more money you'll make because you'll get in front of more customers. Also, while we are on the subject, guys, I do have a full print-on-demand mini course that is completely free. I just need your email address. You can sign up in the description, and I'll send you 1 lesson a day for 8 days. It'll basically give you an even more in-depth step-by-step tutorial than what I'm covering today in this video to help you get started with Etsy. And I run a weekly print-on-demand giveaway. There's a link in the description for that. And I've got a great print-on-demand Facebook community. You can find a link down there in the description. All right, I had to get that out of the way. Okay, so now we need to sign up for Etsy. And what's cool is that if you use the link in the description, instead of just going to Etsy.com in your web browser, because if you do that, you won't get 40 free listings. But if you use the link in the description, you get 40 free listings just for signing up. And that's worth $8. So you can either have $8 for free or not. I would recommend using the link in the description when you open your shop. Now, speaking of opening your shop, this is a 5-step process. Now, it's broken up into shop preferences. Then you got to name your shop. Then you have to add inventory to your shop or stock it, set up how you'll get paid, and then set up your billing. Okay, I will walk you through each of these. So for shop preferences, guys, most likely your language is going to be English, your country is United States, shop currency is probably USD, and you can put whatever you want for which describes you best. I sell part-time, and that's how I like it. Next up, you need to name your shop. As you type in your desired shop name, it will automatically check the availability for you. So if somebody's already taken whatever your desired shop name is, it will not let you proceed. So make sure you find a name that has not been taken yet. Now I need to show you how to create a product listing on Etsy, because it will not let you open your shop unless you create a listing. Now don't freak out, it's okay. I know you might have been thinking like, no, I wanted to open my shop first and then create a listing later, maybe tomorrow, but it's actually okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna create a listing. Later on, we'll just delete this listing. Right now, we're just creating it because Etsy's forcing us to, okay? Because I'm gonna show you later on how we can create print-on-demand listings for sale that will get automatically fulfilled. This one that we're creating now, since we're doing it manually, will not get automatically fulfilled. And if you're anything like me and you like to streamline and automate as many things as possible so you can focus on scaling and growing your business, we don't really need to worry too much about manually fulfilling orders. So what I'm going to show you to do right now is how to just create a manual listing really quickly so that we can open our shop. So go ahead and click add a listing. Now I just went to Google and typed in coffee mug, all right? And I just downloaded an image of a coffee mug. This is a funny one. It says Hug Dealer, okay? So I went to Google Images and just downloaded an image of a coffee mug. Ryan, is that okay? Yes, it's okay. We're just gonna create this listing, then we're gonna delete it, so don't worry. Okay, so go ahead, upload that photo because a listing image is required. After that, include a title. It doesn't really matter what you put because again, we are going to delete this listing, all right? But if you want to, for practice, you can fill out the things like about this listing. You can put it in categories, set the material. It's completely up to you. I would recommend, honestly, if just skipping everything that doesn't have an asterisk next to it. So then you can put the renewal options. What type of product is it? So, again, we're just kind of practicing here. For renewal options, probably leave it as manual in case you forget to delete it so you don't get charged for it after this. Type is going to be a physical product. Description, you can just add anything you want. All right, price, I just put $19.99. Quantity, I put $9.99. Leave personalization off. After that, shipping prices. So I'll enter fixed prices manually. Shipping origin, United States. Processing time, put 3 to 4 weeks. After that, I just entered some fixed shipping prices. Now, you don't actually need to worry too much about what we're doing right now. When I show you later how we're going to streamline all of these things, we are essentially going to create an integration where our Etsy shop is tied to companies that exist specifically to fulfill our orders for us. And what's cool is that these software integrations will automatically detect our orders after they come in. They will automatically fulfill the order, and after it's fulfilled, they'll ship it to our customer for us. We don't have to do anything. And they'll go into Etsy and mark it as shipped and upload tracking. The reason I'm mentioning that now is because under shipping options, right now we are adding a shipping, price and whatnot. But don't worry, because later on when we integrate with these companies that are called production partners that specialize in fulfilling our orders for us, it will automatically create shipping profiles and they will automatically be assigned to every product that we sell in our shop. So whether it's a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, coffee mug, you name it, the right shipping profile will be assigned to that listing. So what we're doing right now, I just want to make sure I reiterate one more time that this is really just, we're doing it because Etsy's making us. Later on, we'll come back, we'll just delete this product, okay? So now we go ahead and we click save and continue. And we are continuing the process of opening our shop. So now we have to set up how we will get paid. And the next question, it says, for tax purposes, what type of seller are you? Are you an individual or sole proprietorship? Or are you an incorporated business? You'll also have to include like your country, your name, your date of birth. I wanted to quickly mention that generally speaking, it's a best practice to open your account, all of your online seller accounts as an LLC, as a limited liability corporation or company. I forget what the C stands for. Anyways, I personally sell through an LLC. I know most of the people I know that are serious Etsy sellers are all using LLCs. My recommended way of getting your LLC open, unless you're the type of person that knows how to do everything yourself manually and file all those papers with the right people manually, if that's not you, and I'm guessing it's not 99% of you guys watching, check out Robert at FastBizLaw. I actually did an interview with him on my YouTube channel not too long ago. He's a great guy, and he'll actually give you a free consultation to make sure that like you're a good fit. He doesn't overcharge you for his services, but he'll get your business open for you. You give him the name, you give him all the info, he'll do everything for you, and you basically just sit back. Remember, time is money, right? So you can just pay him a little bit extra as opposed to you figuring out how to do it yourself. He'll get your LLC open. I'll put a link in the description, and he'll take care of you. Next up, you have to include your home address and some banking info, again, so that Etsy can pay you, because that is why we are doing this. We want to get paid. After that, you need to add billing information because, well, Etsy's going to bill us for a number of different things, whether or not we choose to run ads later on. If we do, they'll need to be able to bill us. Also, you'll notice kind of here that I'm pointing to my green screen pointer. It says that they add 20 cents to your bill for the listing in your shop. So that listing that they force you to create in order to open your shop, well, you pay 20 cents for every listing you create on Etsy. And that is, this first listing is no exception. It would be kind of cool if they gave it to us for free. But don't forget to, if you use the link in the description when you open your shop, you get 40 free listing credits, each worth 20 cents. But generally speaking, guys, just so you know, every listing you open on Etsy, you're going to pay 20 cents initially to launch it, and then they renew quarterly. So in a 365-day cycle, you're going to pay 4 20-cent fees, which means to have a listing open on Etsy for a year, it's 80 cents. They also make you pay the renewal fee after it sells. So it's kind of like a hidden flat rate fee that accompanies every time you make a sale on Etsy. So they need a way to bill us for all those things. All right, and then click open your shop, and we are already, doing work here. We got our shop open. We're good to go. Uh-oh, time out though. I had to make a quick mention of something. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but this happens to quite a few people, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong, but Etsy has automated computer code. I don't know what to call it, right? They have some algorithm that will incorrectly suspend a very high number of shops that get opened on the platform. I can't tell you why, but what I can tell you is if it happens to you, and it happened to me in my most recent newly opened Etsy shop, right? Does that mean I did something wrong? Absolutely not. It happens to a lot of people. If that happens to you guys, all you have to do is go to the Etsy Help Center and then click reopen your shop, okay? In the Help Center, you can find the page where you can reopen your shop. I'll also put a link to it in the description. Hopefully you don't need it, but it's not uncommon. I don't know why Etsy doesn't fix it. Also, I'm just going to mention while we're on the subject, if you end up having to reopen your shop, it can take as long as like 7 to 10 days. That's the most recent estimate that I've heard. When I recently had to do mine on my new shop, it took 7 days. Then I had somebody tell me it took them 10, probably because of the high volume of messages that the Etsy Help Center receives. Of course, they could probably cut that in half if they just fixed whatever broken algorithm is suspending new shops. However, they don't seem to care. They don't seem to fix it. It is what it is. So now you know you can just easily reopen your shop should that happen to you. All right, our shop is open. We need to customize that shop. We need to make it our own, have that, look and feel, the Etsy look and feel. I call it the Etsy handmade look and feel. So what you're going to want to do is now when you're logged into Etsy, go ahead and click the shop manager icon. Now, I don't think that's there if you're not signed up as an Etsy seller. So I'm pretty sure most Etsy users are customers. They're not sellers. So they're probably not used to seeing that icon. But now that you're a seller, you need to get used to seeing and clicking that shop manager icon. Now under the sales channels on the bottom left corner of your shop manager screen, you should see your shop name and like a little pencil icon. Go ahead and click that. This is going to let you customize your Etsy shop. We're going to start by adding a banner. Most of us are going to click big banner. I've seen people use the mini banner. I've also seen top shops not even add a banner. So it's really up to you. I personally like to use a banner. So I'm going to click big banner. Now here's the thing, right? We may or may not be graphic designers. I'm guessing most of the people watching right now would not consider yourself to be a great graphic designer. Perfect. I've got a solution for you, okay? Because I'm not a good graphic designer either. If you want to use Canva, I'll show you how to make a top-notch, top-tier banner for your Etsy shop plus more, and you don't need any skill. And I'm going to put a link to Canva right there in the description. And what you're going to want to do is after you click that link, go ahead and type in banner into the search bar. what you're gonna see is that there is a ton of banners. Now it says YouTube banner. It doesn't really matter that they say YouTube. We can use these for Etsy just as well. Okay, there's so many templates for us to choose from. And what I did, there's 2,591 as of recording this video, actually. I went ahead and I clicked one of the banners that I liked, the templates. And in about 60 seconds, I was able to make this banner that you see behind me over my shoulder. It says Ryan's Shop, beautiful shirts, you know, because I'm selling print-on-demand shirts. And I put a link to my Etsy shop in the banner. Now, that will not be a clickable link, but it's just there because to me, it looks professional. But here's the thing. If you want to just take a note really quickly, when you become, an established shop on Etsy, so I'm not trying to challenge anybody to do this right now, but I did just want to mention that down the line, you can actually put links in your shop, in your descriptions. You can put it in your shop banner like you're seeing here. And you can point to a external website where you can let your customers sign up on your email list. And this is how you build a real long-term business in my mind. And when you get their email, you can set up email automations so that you can basically have an automated email go out to your customers who sign up and say, hey, thanks for joining our list. Here's a coupon for, 25% off your next order. And don't worry, I'll show you how to do that. But I did just want to mention that right now as an advanced strategy. It's not something we have to do right now, but down the line, it's something you should consider. Also, shout out to my buddy on YouTube, Detour Shirts, another great YouTuber in the print-on-demand space. Just because I was, talking about Canva, I saw him tweet out yesterday that he was in Canva playing around, and he made a bunch of really cool travel designs. And he did this, I'm sure, like super quickly because of how easy it is to use Canva. So shout out to Detour Shirts, shout out to Canva. I also wanted to mention, there's another website that I really love for any creatives I'm doing on Etsy or on the internet in general, and it is Pexels, Pexels.com. I'll put a link in the description. I actually think that Pexels may have gotten bought out by Canva, so check me on that. I think they did though. And Pexels is a massive repository of photographs. Every photographer that puts their custom photographs on Pexels is relinquishing their rights to it. But they do get credit for it. So they can build up portfolios and actually get their name, build a name for themselves out there as photographers. But us using their photos, just so you know, all of these are Creative Commons 0 license, which means any photo on this website we can use for commercial or personal use. We don't have to credit the author. It's always a best practice too, if you can, right? You can give them credit, but you don't have to. And when you say commercial use, that means like we could even use these as to make sales. So I wanted to just throw that out there so that you knew about it because I've been using this website for a long time. All right, and then we need to add our shop members, even if it's just adding us as the shop owner and creating a shop owner profile. I just wanted to mention that, you can put any profile you want here. So I can read to you the profile that I put for myself. I put Ryan is the owner. Welcome to my shop. I absolutely love drawing, whether it's with a pen and paper or on my computer. Artistic expression has always been a big part of my life, and I can't believe that today my Etsy shop has given me the opportunity to do it for a living. It's a dream come true. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and thank you for stopping by. So you can copy that exactly if you want to. I don't really care. Just put something flowery, friendly, and happy is what I would recommend. And then you don't have to use your own photo when you're adding shop members. Again, you can go to Pexels.com and just type in whatever you want. So I just typed in happy guy, and you can see I got a couple options behind me here of a smiling, laughing, chuckling, happy guy. So I just took one of those and used that as my shop icon. Or not my shop icon, but my shop owner icon. All right, next up, shop policies. I do believe Etsy sets default values for these. So I'll just tell you the ones that I'm using. So shipping, processing time, the time I need to prepare an order for shipping varies. For details, see individual items because you can set on each listing a handling time. It's an integer, so it's a number, and that represents the number of days between when it's ordered and the maximum amount of time it will take before it's shipped out. And since we're going to do print on demand, this can actually vary by production partner, meaning who we farm the actual work out to. So if we sell a t-shirt, there's a bunch of companies that can fulfill that t-shirt for us. We actually pick one, and it's however long it takes them. So if it's going to take them 3 days on average, we may want to double that and put 6 days just so that we don't get in trouble with Etsy for late shipments. Estimated shipping times. I'll do my best to meet these shipping estimates, but cannot guarantee them. Actual delivery time will depend on the shipping method you choose. All right. Payment options, these are all default, so I just left it as is by Etsy. Returns and exchanges. So I did not select that I don't accept returns and I don't accept exchanges. Personally, do I actually want to do either? No, I don't. But here's the thing, guys. Like on Etsy, when you get a review, if I'm selling 500 products, if I get one negative review, it's going to show on my shop. So it's going to affect all 500 listings. It's not like Amazon where your product gets a review and just that product has the review on it. On Etsy, they kind of do that. Like you can see on Etsy if one listing you have has a bunch of reviews, they can kind of let the customer see the shop global reviews and the product specific reviews. But generally speaking on Etsy, you really want to protect and maintain that 5 stars and do everything you can to make sure that customers are happy, even if it's at your expense. This is a long-term business model. So even if like you have to, lose money on one sale because it's a difficult customer, it's better to just give them a return, right? Or an exchange in my mind. I really believe in the long-term business we're building. And you definitely, the 5-star feedback is going to matter way more than one sale and losing, $5 to $10 on it. The following items cannot be returned or exchanged here at the bottom. And these are just defaults, by the way. So the default is you cannot return or exchange custom or personalized orders, perishable products, digital downloads, intimate items, and items on sale. All right, so I've mentioned a couple times production partners. These are what allow us to sell print-on-demand products. Not that you can't fulfill orders yourself. There are other YouTube channels that talk about doing it themselves, but you tend to see a common thread amongst them, which is that they eventually say, man, I can't believe I fulfilled my own orders for so long. I have a good friend who really just crushes it on Etsy, extremely successful. He bought some of his own t-shirt presses. He had like a factory and he had employees and he was fulfilling orders himself. Then his first, as a print on demand seller, fourth quarter came, Christmas came, and he was like, oh man, that was such a headache. I am no longer doing this. I'm going to use some of these production partners. These are massive companies, many of them, with infrastructure that can be spread out around the world often, and they will fulfill for us. So in case you're new to this concept of print on demand, really quickly, I just want to kind of walk you through how it works, okay? So a customer will place an order. They'll purchase a t-shirt from your Etsy shop, okay? The order then, after it's confirmed, will get detected by your supplier or your production partner, okay? That's what I call a production partner. When they detect it, this is because we integrate them, the production partner, with our Etsy account. So we give them the ability to see our Etsy account and see when we make orders. If we don't do that, there's no way for them to know that we made an order. So that's a required step. But don't worry, I'll walk you through it. Next, the supplier puts your artwork on the item. So it's part of their workflow, but they've got all the machines, they've got the warehouses, they have the blank t-shirts, and they have the employees that go pick the right blank t-shirt, brand, size, color. Then they feed it through the machine. The computer says, okay, we're going to print this design on it. It comes out the other end with the design on it. They then package it up and they slap a shipping label on it and it gets shipped out to our customer. And their software then uploads the tracking information to the customer and they get a notification from Etsy that, hey, your product is on the way. It's a really beautiful thing. And it is definitely kind of putting the advances in technology, to our benefit, right? So that we can focus on scaling a successful business. So 4 production partners I want to introduce you to in this video include Awkward Styles, Printful, Printify, and Gearbubble. Okay, and I'll talk about each one of them briefly. I also linked to all of them in the description, of course, so that you can sign up. And I wanted to mention, guys, that you can integrate with multiple production partners to your store. Just so you know, you can have, all 4 of them connected to your Etsy shop if you wanted to. And then also all of these production partners often integrate with other marketplaces like Shopify, like Wix, eBay, Squarespace, Amazon, you name it. A lot of them integrate as well. So you can, like I said earlier, occupy as much online real estate as possible. And I would recommend that approach because, that's how we get indexed on Google and get in front of as many customers as possible. The more broad appeal we have, the more sales we can expect to make. All right, so the first production partner that I'm going to mention is the biggest one, and that is Printful. Okay, they've fulfilled over 50 million print-on-demand orders to date. Over 50 million. By the time you go to Printful, it'll probably be even higher than that. So definitely check out Printful. Getting started with any of these companies is free, by the way. So Printful is the initial company that I used to fulfill the orders from my very first Etsy shop. And I opened my Etsy print-on-demand shop back in, I can't remember if it was late 2017. I think it was 2018, honestly, like mid or early 2018. Printify, another big production partner. The difference between those two though is like Printful does all of their own fulfillment, and Printify is kind of like a middleman whose software can then farm the work out to other production partner companies. So when you use Printify, you actually get to choose from different sub companies, or kind of like subcontractors, for who's going to fulfill your orders based on what product you're selling. But it's actually pretty good, because if one company like goes out of stock of a certain product, Printify can then route your order to a different company that sells the same product. So it can be very useful. And while it's free to join Printify, they have like a premium option that pretty much everybody would pay for. I think it's like $30 a month, and that will reduce the cost of your products that you fulfill. The third company is Gearbubble. They're really cool because not only do they sell apparel, but they also sell jewelry. They actually got acquired, I believe in 2022, by a large publicly traded jewelry company. So the number of jewelry products that Gearbubble has been offering has vastly expanded since then. And I'm going to show you an example of how we can sell custom jewelry on Etsy a little bit later. And last but certainly not least, Awkward Styles, based out of Los Angeles, California. Really interesting, rapidly growing print-on-demand production partner. One of my favorites. I really like their, well, number one, their quality. I'm going to show you a couple sample orders that I got from Awkward Styles. I'll just be brief, but just to give you a quick, idea of what you can use them to fulfill on your Etsy shop. And I've actually got a really cool deal. I have a previous YouTube video, by the way, where I did a price comparison of a couple really popular products that you can find on all of the companies that I previously mentioned, but Printful being the biggest one. For instance, the Bella Canvas 3001 t-shirt is probably the most popular print-on-demand t-shirt that sellers sell. On Printful, the base cost is $12.95. You can find that on Awkward Styles for $9.70. So, you know what I mean? That's quite a big discount, and I would recommend, like I said, hey, you can sign up for both of them for free, but if you're selling, Bella Canvas 3001 shirts, you might want to look towards Awkward Styles and lock in the major discount so that you can maximize your profit, because that's why we're doing this, right? I'll also put a link to my video where I did a real focus on Awkward Styles, so you can check that out if you want to deep dive. And another really cool thing they did for us, guys, if you want to sign up for Awkward Styles today for free and use my code Ryan Hogue, you can get 60 days of the pro plan. In addition to, I believe they give you 30 when you sign up. So I think you can get 90 days. Don't quote me though. It's either 60 or 90. Either way, it's a darn good deal. And again, it's free to use. This is only so that you can experience their pro plan at no cost to you, just to see all of the benefits, including lower costs on fulfillment. So that's something that I would recommend, obviously, right? We were doing this for money. So in this example, I go to the Awkward Styles product catalog, and I'm looking for a t-shirt for us to sell. So let me show you the samples that I promised real quick. So you can see here, I ordered a shirt with like a really kind of colorful, vibrant Miami design, and it printed beautifully. I also did a hat sample order. I sell a lot of hats on Etsy, believe it or not. And here's a metal print with neon coloring. It doesn't actually glow, but it looked great. Moving on, we are going to use the Gildan 5000 t-shirt for this demo. And Awkward Styles can fulfill this shirt for a price point of $7.59. So hopefully you can see why I am so interested in it. That is a great price point. In their designer here, all you need to do is upload a design, and then at the bottom there, you can select, some of the colors, all the colors, whatever you want. And generally you want to select all the sizes as well. That makes them available to your customer. So I went ahead and I uploaded a design. It says, "Vote, We're Ruthless." This is related to the very popular late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and lots of t-shirts sell to people that are fans of her. So then you go ahead and you say upload product. Okay, and from here you go ahead and click the upload button, and it should push it to your Etsy shop. You can then, after that, go ahead and select what product thumbnail you would like to be featured on your shop, on your product listing that's going to be on your shop. Go ahead and add a custom title. This is going to help you get found on the Etsy search engine. And don't worry, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into how to optimize your title, your description, etc. This is really just meant to serve as a quick demo. And then we're going to come back and do this again a little bit later on, that's after I cover, the best practices for search engine optimization, or SEO for short. Go ahead and add tags, and we'll talk about those as well in the future. The tags also help Etsy figure out what you're selling and put it in front of the right customers. And go ahead, and if you need to create a new shipping profile, well, you don't actually need to. If you just check that box, Awkward Styles will create a new shipping profile for you, like I mentioned earlier that they would. This will include all of the shipping prices that Awkward Styles essentially is just going to pass on the shipping prices to your customer. Okay, and then you have your colors that you made available. For this example, I only selected black. In most cases, you're probably selecting more than just one color, but and then all the sizes I made available as well. And then you click Upload Product and give it a second while it synchronizes. Before you know it, it's going to pop up in your Etsy shop, and it is available for sale. Now, from here, guys, people can find it. And what's really cool is you may actually get a sale right after you publish a new product, because on Etsy, when a product is recently renewed, and when you launch a new product, remember, it charged you that 20 cent renewal fee, okay? That 20 cent renewal fee, like, you can actually renew products early if you want to, but it'll get a little boost in visibility in Etsy search when a product is recently renewed. So I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but I've had it where I just launched a brand new product and got a sale within an hour. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, that is a thing. So when you pay that 20 cent renewal fee, it does boost its visibility just a little bit. Also, I recently did a video where I compared some of the most popular t-shirt options for print-on-demand sellers to use to be selling to their customers. If you would like to watch that video, I will link to it in the description. All right, so we just used Awkward Styles as our production partner to create that listing. And should anybody purchase that product from us, Awkward Styles will automatically detect the order, they'll fulfill it, they'll ship it to the customer, and they'll add tracking when it gets shipped out. But there's one step left that we need to do inside of Etsy to let Etsy know that we're using Awkward Styles to fulfill our orders. This is called adding a production partner. So if you go to your shop manager on Etsy, which is clicking that shop icon in the top right, and then on your admin backend, go to settings and then go to production partners. You then need to click add new production partner. There's another way to get here. You can also just edit any of your listings, including if you followed along with me, the listing we just made, and then there will be a button inside the listing underneath the production partner section for adding a new one. Here, I'm going to put the production partner name. So I named it Awkward Styles after the company. And also it's optional to show them to the buyer. So you can either enable that so that the buyer knows who's fulfilling the orders or not. It doesn't really make a difference, whatever you think. Location, in this case, for Awkward Styles is Los Angeles, California. About the production partner, I put a print-on-demand fulfillment service that prints, packs, and ships my t-shirt and apparel products direct to customers. About your partnership, I don't have the technical ability or equipment to make it myself. I design everything myself, and they do everything for me. Okay, so you can just copy the way I did it right there, and then go ahead and click the update partner or save partner button. And then you'll have it available under your list of production partners. As you can see here, I have at least 5 different production partners integrated with the account that I took the screenshot from. All right, now when it comes to design apps, right? Because I just kind of magically had a design ready to go in that demo. Where did that design come from? Well, let me show you a couple ways that you can create your own print-on-demand designs. Here are some popular design applications in no specific order. So Kittl is a relatively new design app that has been really popular amongst the print-on-demand community. Canva, we already talked about earlier, and it's just, super easy to use, just like Kittl is, by the way. They're both web browser based, so you don't have to download any software. You can get started right away using either one of them. Then there's Photoshop, from Adobe, there's Photoshop, there's Illustrator. Those are 2 extremely popular options, but you do have to download the applications and pay probably the highest monthly fees for both of them. So that's just worth noting. I still love both of them. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind saying this because, I mean, who cares? But my old web developer job, I still somehow am getting my Photoshop and Illustrator paid for by them. But one day I'm going to wake up and they're going to have realized that they're paying for these licenses, and, you know, nobody that works at that company is using them because I haven't worked at the company since early 2020. So, and then this last icon right here is Photopea, which is actually like a free clone of Photoshop that works in a web browser. I know that's really weird, but I'll link to all these in the description as well in case you want to check them out. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to use Kittl. Okay, now I did a little bit more of an in-depth Kittl video recently, and I will link to that in the description in case you want to check that YouTube video out. But for the purpose of this one, this video, I'm going to jump on over to Kittl and do a quick design that we can then use to sell a print-on-demand product and show you how easy it is. All right, so I am here on Kittl, and by the way, in case you've never used it before, you can kind of sort by logos, labels, t-shirts, posters, cards, social. They may add more later. But, you know, the default view is just all different types of designs, design templates, etc. Mixed in. And I like to just choose one that I like and kind of edit it to make it my own. This one right here behind me, actually, Good Vibes. I don't know what was I watching earlier, but something about like Good Vibe Tribe or something like that popped into my mind when I saw this. So I'm going to click Use This Design. All right, I'm going to use this design template. So I'm thinking that I am going to make it say Good Vibe Tribe. So I'm going to click the good text, drag it up, click the vibes text, and I believe I need to switch this to say vibe instead of tribes. So I'll remove the S, and it looks like there's like 3D text behind that too. So I'm just gonna have to keep selecting the extra back layers, I guess, and deleting the S's until they're all gone. Okay, I think that's the last one. Okay, so you can see that's how they got the 3D effect. They just stack different layers. Okay, so Good Vibe, and then down here, okay, maybe I'll move that up a little bit more. You can just kind of play by ear, guys. So it's cool. Good Vibe, and then I'm gonna have it say Tribe. All right, guys, and how about that for Good Vibe Tribe? You can see that I just used a template that was already created for me. This is one of the benefits of using something like Kittl. Lots of really good artists create these templates that, you know, the normal people like you and me, or maybe you're really good, I don't consider myself that great, can then just go in, kind of edit, make it our own. We go ahead and we can click the download button up there in the top right corner. It'll give us some options. I typically like to set the width to 4500. It'll automatically adjust the height because I'm typically designing t-shirts at like 4500 by 5400 pixels. However, there isn't necessarily a right or wrong answer, but as a best practice, the 4500 width is probably going to get you where you want to be. And then you'd want to export it as a PNG, but I would recommend clicking the remove background toggle so that it will not include the background when you download it. Then just go ahead and click PNG, and it'll go ahead and download that to your computer, which you can then upload and make available for sale. All right, guys, now in addition to what I just showed you, where we can go and create our own custom designs using templates as a jumping off point, there's a lot of other ways to go about designing. And I'm going to show you some of my favorite other destinations for, in this case, pre-made graphics. Now, these aren't necessarily going to be editable templates like what we just saw at Kittl. These can be just straight up, hey, click here to download the design, and then you can upload and sell it as is. You can also edit them, which I do often edit them myself to make them a little bit unique for me. But hey, I'm just saying, a lot of you guys watching, you probably work a 9-to-5 job, and you're probably, you know, you have a life. So if you're running with time constraints, it's okay and honestly better to go and upload 10 designs that look really good, by the way. I'm going to show you some examples, as opposed to spending the time it would take you to upload 10 designs and have 10 products for sale, and instead try to go about it on your own. And whether or not you're a good designer starts to factor in, but maybe it takes you an hour to create just one design, and it might not even be that good. I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not hating. I'm not saying that you're not going to make good looking designs. I'm just saying theoretically, in the time it takes you to design something yourself, you could just go to Creative Fabrica or Vexels, download a pre-made design, and worry about selling and creating optimized listings instead of worrying about designing, which could already be solved for you with a subscription to Creative Fabrica and or Vexels. I use both of them. With Creative Fabrica, they've got the biggest asset library for print on demand sellers that I've ever seen. This includes like graphic files, pre-made designs, thumbnail mockups for Etsy, which we'll talk about later. They've got huge font family, just like massive selection of different fonts. I'll show you some of my favorites for Halloween in a second. And they've got tools that help you generate unique designs. And I'm going to show you an example of that too. And then Vexels, alternatively, they have a team of professional designers, and like all they do every day is just create new high quality professional designs that we can then just download and either edit or just sell as is. So I have a plan that lets me download 200 unique designs every single month, and you bet I use all 200 every month. I put them on my Etsy shop and they look like world-class designs, and I frame them beautifully. I'm going to show you how I'd recommend doing that later on in this video. So with Creative Fabrica, oh, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but if you use my link in the description, you can join Creative Fabrica for $1. All right, $1. So it's well worth it, guys. Here is a font, the Halloween themed font called Witcher. Okay, it's probably not the best Halloween font, but it is pretty cool and it's customizable. You can see in the one thumbnail there, you can like turn it orange, you know what I mean? See the orange and the black colors, etc. They've got like little Halloween treat bags and whatnot theme in there, the witch hats. Here's another really popular one called Cute Ghost, and this is a big popular one when it comes to doing Halloween themed designs for print on demand, because I mean, if you don't want to use graphics in your designs, it's okay to just use text. You know, text only sells really well. And also, if you're new to print on demand, you may overlook just how many products are sold, not necessarily to kids, but for kids, okay? So Halloween shirts for kids are no exception, and having a nice font family like this would be a huge edge over people that are using like fonts that have nothing to do with, you know, kids or Halloween. So I would recommend taking a look at the Cute Ghost font on Creative Fabrica if you have a subscription, if you end up joining. In addition to that, guys, they've got bundles of pre-made Halloween designs that you can use to get your Etsy shop stocked right away, okay? More bundles of Halloween designs. By the way, these graphics can be used as t-shirt designs, sweatshirt designs, stickers. You can sell them as sticker packs. You know what I mean? You can think outside the box. There's a lot of ways to use these, guys. Some more that could be used as stickers or t-shirts. Some more. You can do so much with these guys. Tarot cards, we know those are huge year-round as a niche, but also in Halloween they see an uptick in interest. Vintage Halloween assets, you can do a lot with these as well. So why not go about, just literally adding the word vintage to your title, to your description, to your tags, gets you in front of a whole nother subset of customers. Just that one word as a qualifier. So these are things you start to get comfortable with over time as you've been selling on Etsy for longer. Halloween patterns, guys, you can do a whole bunch of other types of products with patterns, whereas one static standalone image wouldn't do. Patterns open up a whole nother box of possibilities. Here I have a YouTube video where I did a full in-depth review of how I'm getting ready for Halloween with Creative Fabrica. I will link to that in the description and down there in the description. Well, I'm going to tell you in a second. I forgot, I mentioned I would show you how I can create unique designs using a tool that Creative Fabrica built called ShapeCloud, okay? So if you go to Tools and then ShapeCloud, you can actually see here that you can create designs just like this. So what I did was I got a SVG image of a pumpkin, uploaded it to the ShapeCloud generator so that now it knows the shape that I want to make with words, and it's a pumpkin. Then I added custom words like carving, jack-o'-lantern, pumpkin, patch, Halloween, and I clicked generate. Oh yeah, and I styled the text to be orange. And it made, in the shape of a pumpkin, you know, a word cloud design, or a shape cloud design as they call it, and that's perfect for Halloween, and it's completely unique. And then you can go ahead, upload it to a t-shirt, and make it available for sale. So you can make unique designs, you can sell pre-made designs by professionals, guys. And as long as you follow the best practices that I'm going to show you later in this video, you can market them successfully, get them in front of the right customers, and lock in those sales, guys, and create your real business, your real passive, scalable print-on-demand business on Etsy. All right, so it's $1 for the first month, guys, to join Creative Fabrica. If you use the link in the description, after that, you lock in a 35% discount on the monthly fee. And if you stick with it, guys, if you're actually utilizing it, it will easily pay for itself. So I would recommend checking them out. The next big thing is niche research, okay? So we know how to design. We're gonna learn in a little bit how to make really well optimized listings in terms of search engine optimization and framing our products. But what about like what to actually sell, right? These are niches. Or let's just say we already know we're gonna sell t-shirts, but what designs should we put on the t-shirts? Like, I was just talking about Halloween. Halloween is a pretty obvious one. Let's be honest. Like if we're heading into this time of year, I'm releasing this video in, August, September. We know then it's October, and October Halloween is absolutely massive. So it's never too early to get started. But how do we figure out like what niches that we want to be in? Well, niche research, right? That's a step that I would not recommend skipping, because if you are following the customers and following the trends of what customers want to buy, that is how you unlock the highest potential upside as a seller and lock in the most sales. Like you can sell evergreen niches related to, I don't even know, like people whose favorite color is red. I don't know. I just made that up. But like that niche could sell year round, but if it's not a trend, then you're just hoping whenever it pops into someone's mind randomly that they search and find you. Whereas if it's Halloween, you already know everybody's looking for Halloween costumes. A costume can be a Halloween t-shirt. Well, that's something that, that's a good niche. But what about sub-niching? So you have Halloween, then you have everything underneath Halloween that represents potential for us to offer as, niches and sub-niches on our print-on-demand products. So as I just mentioned, guys, follow the trends. This is keeping it simple. Oftentimes, KISS, the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. It works. So why not just, keep it simple? All right. Now, my two favorite niche research tools for Etsy are Everbee and Allura. Okay. Now, they are both really good at what they do, and I'm going to show you a demo of both of them. So Everbee is a Chrome extension that you can go ahead and add. You guessed it. I will link to it in the description. It helps with product research, revenue analytics, and helps you save time with just honing in on what like niches you really want to be in. You know what I mean? And it's not just knowing where you want to be, but if you avoid wasting time in a niche that isn't going to reward you, I mean, it's not, you can't really know until you try, obviously, but like not all niches are created equal. You really want to be in the niches where, again, the customers are. You know what I mean? That's a no-brainer. Follow the trend. We just said it. Everbee is going to help you get there. All right. So when you have the Everbee Chrome extension installed, then when you go to Etsy, you'll sometimes notice it's on the sidebar on the left-hand side of your screen. So I went ahead and I searched for Halloween shirt. Okay. When I have Everbee installed, I can then hover over the Everbee kind of menu, and it pops out. You'll notice I have the growth plan, so I have access to all the features. I can then click analytics, and it's going to show me, based on data mining Etsy, all the relevant data points that I need to know about this, well, not just this niche, but it's really the products returned when I did this keyword search on Etsy, when I searched for Halloween shirt, okay? So then it pops out their analytics table for all of the products in search results on Etsy for these search terms. By the way, I do know some people, part of their process is to use these tools like Everbee or any of the competitors. You can then sort by either estimated revenue or number of sales, etc. And then you can export the list, and you can just honestly send it to a design team if you have designers, okay? Or you just use this as your guide, and then you go to places like Creative Fabrica and Vexels, and you already know where to prioritize because, you know what I mean? Like just really quickly, I hope I'm illustrating this properly. When you look at Etsy and you just did a keyword search, what is this telling us, right? What are these results telling us? It's not telling us anything. There's no indicator of how well these are selling, right? We're just guessing whether or not these are selling well. Because also you'll even notice that like when Etsy shows us reviews, it's showing us the number of reviews that the shops have, not that these products have. Okay, so this is why tools like Everbee and Allura are so valuable. Okay, so if you then use the search results and sort them top to bottom, what you have is essentially an order of priorities for you to target for your niche targeting. Now, granted, I also typed in Halloween shirt. So in this example, I already chose the Halloween niche, and we're just looking at sub niches within Halloween. You don't have to go about it this way. You can seed it with funny shirt. You know what I mean? You can just do like funny shirt, or you can type like trending shirt. It's whatever you want to do. Like you can experiment with it. That's what's cool. Once you have these tools, go ahead and experiment. Like this is your business. Make it your own. Have some fun with it. But in this case, I typed in Halloween shirt, so I already knew the niche, and now I'm looking at sub niches within Halloween because I know what's coming. I know there's huge interest, huge opportunity. It also tells us things like average number of favorites just shows that, hey, customers are actually looking and interacting with these listings. Also, because it shows us when the product in this column right here that I'm pointing to, it says listing age. if you see a product with a lot of favorites and the listing age is like 1 month, it's like, oh, wow, this is trending right now. That's like a, hey, put a siren there. That's something that you want to be alerted to. Okay. When you see a new listing or relatively new with a lot of favorites, and then beyond favorites, it also estimates like the revenue that is done. So how many sales it's made, etc. So I'm just saying, guys, this is essentially like, it could just be called Etsy Spy, right? We're just spying on other listings on Etsy, using them as our guide, right? Because there's 2 ways to go about it. We can guess, right? We can just roll the dice, hope I get lucky, or use the information that is available to us, right? It's not available here, right? When we're just looking at Etsy, but if we use Everbee all of a sudden, oh, now I'm making informed decisions about how to spend my time with regards to what niches do I want to be in for the products that I'm going to offer on my shop. It doesn't mean you have to go clone and copy all the other listings that are selling well, right? I wouldn't recommend copying them, but go ahead and like make unique designs or find designs that are somewhat similar, right? And then you can make them your own if you choose to. It all depends on the license of where you get them. So that's why I said keep it simple. Creative Fabrica, Vexels, very good options. And then all of a sudden you're giving yourself a chance to compete with the best sellers on Etsy, a massive like worldwide audience, a global marketplace. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're literally competing with the best of the best. It's like, how'd they become the best of the best? Because they just do this. They keep it simple. They do like the obvious thing. Follow the customers, all right? I think you guys get it now. I'm going to stop saying that. But sometimes like we make things too complicated. Like it's easier to just keep it simple than it is to overthink this and think that there's some crazy way we need to go about it. Like sometimes you just look at what's selling and say, okay, I'm going to carve out a piece of that pie for myself. So you can actually expand any of the products that are returned in this table. You can see the title, you can see the listing image, you can see the tags, which by the way, if these tags are helping these products generate, you know, $4,800 in estimated revenue last month alone, it's okay to copy the tags, by the way. The tags are like kind of hidden back end search terms that we are telling Etsy, hey, when somebody comes to, you know, Etsy.com and searches for this, my listing is relevant to them. Okay, but we can do it using the tags without it showing up in like our title or our description. So for instance, like a theoretical here, you could do a Spanish translation of the English word, and that way you don't have to have Spanish on your, you know, listing in the US market. But you can still tell Etsy's search engine on the back end, hey, this Spanish word is relevant to my listing, even though I won't be putting it in, you know, anywhere where the customer can see it. We'll talk more about tags soon too. So there you go. You got the tags right there. And there is actually kind of a hidden underneath. It says copy tags. Okay. And then you can also run Everbee on the listing itself, and it will pop up a little information on the listing with all the relevant projections. How old is it? How many reviews does it have? You know, how many favorites? What's the total sales, estimated revenue, etc. Okay. And if you're wondering why this numbers are actually a little bit different, it's because I took the screenshots at different times. So this sweatshirt has absolutely been killing it from the brief time ago where I took the initial screenshot and now, because it jumped like, I think 12 grand in revenue in that short amount of time. So that's absolutely crazy. And yeah, this seller's doing a really good job. So if you kind of get an idea of like what I've been preaching here, it's like you can start with Everbee, do your validation for what niche should I be selling in. Then you can go use Kittl, which has great design, like a great in your web browser designer, very easy to use. I showed you one template. There is tons of templates. So you can pretty much find one for any niche, or go to Creative Fabrica, just find like a pre-made graphic, or maybe go find a nice font family that you like and do a text only design. All right. Then download your design from Kittl, from Creative Fabrica, upload it in awkward styles to whatever product you want to sell on Etsy, publish it to your Etsy shop, and then we continue with the optimization process. This is how we help the Etsy algorithm figure out what it is we're selling, because honestly, until we've made sales, the algorithm, it's not a human, right? It's code. And what really illustrates to the algorithm that what we are selling is what we say it is when a customer searches for it, clicks our listing, and then purchases it. That's a strong signal that, hey, whatever the customer searched for, when they clicked us and bought that, that must have been what it was. It must have been highly relevant to what the customer searched for. In addition to that, we're optimizing to increase the conversion rate so that when customers find our listing, more of them, as a function of how many click it, more of them that click it find their way to the checkout and actually purchase it, right? This is called our conversion rate. And when you optimize your listings, you're also optimizing to increase your conversion rate, which again is something that's measured by the algorithm, because this is, in web browsers, all these things can be quantified and measured. And that's going to send another strong signal to the Etsy algorithm to prioritize our placement in search results. Okay, so these are really important stuff. And these are ways that we can stand out above our competition. Okay, so I would highly recommend not skipping these. So we need to understand like what variables we actually control. When it comes to creating Etsy listings, the title is very important. Okay, this is straight from the Etsy help section. So you don't need to take me at my word or take me at my opinion. All right, because sometimes you can get in trouble trusting talking heads on YouTube, for real. And I'm a talking head, and I'm telling you not to always be trusting, right? Sometimes you can just go straight to the source. So we want to rank well on Etsy. What does Etsy have to tell us about what we can do to rank better, okay? So let's look at titles. Using listing titles to get found in search. Every listing has a title. It's the text that appears above the listing image on the listing page in your shop and in search results. Use your title to tell shoppers what your item is in a few words. When someone searches on Etsy, the system looks at listing titles along with tags and item categories. So those are 3 things you want to prioritize. The first few words of listing titles have a particularly strong influence on Etsy search. I repeat, the first few words. Okay, so it's not even the full title. It's those first, 3, 4, 5 words. Place a high emphasis on signaling what it is, what is unique about what you're selling in those first words. Front load your title with the most relevant words, guys. Only place words and phrases buyers will search for in your listing title. If you're selling artwork, put the title of your piece in the description instead of the listing title. While titling your items, also keep in mind how other search engines off of Etsy will find and display your items. Because keep in mind, guys, Etsy ranks really well on Google. Google's the big search engine, and it's not just about ranking well on Etsy. You want to rank well on Google, okay? So Etsy knows things like I was just mentioning about like conversion rate, how many people that click your listing are actually buying it. Google doesn't know that, right? So Google, when they're deciding how to rank you, they may, weigh in other factors like your listing age, but also it's like, a function of the domain that you're hosted on. So in this case, we're getting our own internet real estate as a subset of the Etsy.com domain, which carries huge domain authority, which means, if there's 100 other websites selling a shirt for unicorn T-Rex dinosaurs, I don't even know what that is. But if we then go to Etsy and we sell our own unicorn T-Rex dinosaur t-shirt, in theory, because we're selling it on Etsy, we may get priority placement really quickly in Google search results if Etsy's domain carries a lot more authority than the other websites. You see what I'm saying? So being on Etsy is a pretty big deal, guys. This is why I always say you want to carve out real estate on the major platforms. Etsy, Amazon, eBay are 3 of my favorites. Okay. So using tags to get found in search. So Etsy allows us really quickly up to 13 tags per listing, and you can do 20 characters. So a character is like 1 keystroke. So if I type the letter C, that's 1 of the 20, okay? So using tags to get found in search. A tag is a word or short phrase that describes your item. Etsy matches tags with shopper searches to find relevant results. To improve where your items are appearing on Etsy, be sure to use your tags when listing your items. You can use up to 13 tags per item listing. A single tag can be a short descriptive phrase. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just 1 word. If you can fit multiple words, that's a relevant phrase. They would probably recommend that, because also too, back here where the title was, they even say kind of, I don't know if I am hiding it with my chair, but it says you can place words and phrases in your title, okay, that customers would search for. Just think of it as like, put your web developer hat on for 10 seconds. Like matching fringe single words doesn't carry as much weight as matching, let's say, 3 words in a row. You know what I mean? Or 4 words in a row. Like funny unicorn dinosaur shirt. That's 4 words. If I have those 4 words in my title and someone goes to Etsy and they type in funny unicorn dinosaur shirt, that's a 4 for 4 match all in a row. You see what I'm saying? So that signals to the algorithm, hey, this is probably a significant match, because what are the likelihood they matched 4 words in a row, plus the words were in our title where we know that carries a lot of weight. And then Etsy also says, make sure your listings are tagged only with accurate and relevant words. By the way, guys, towards the end of this video, when I get to the automation section, I'm going to basically show you how you can use a tag generator that will, you provide like a primary keyword or a primary phrase. Etsy will go and scrape the highest performing listings. It's not Etsy actually, but the software I'm going to show you will go and scrape the highest performing listings on Etsy and return the most valuable tags that you can then use in your listing. Okay. And I'm going to show you another software that can do that for you too. So if you don't want to slow down to write out all your tags, it actually does take a while because of the 20 character limit. Don't worry, I've got solutions for you. So, all right. And then title and tags. We don't have to read this whole thing, but this is again straight from Etsy's help center. I put some arrows to really emphasize these things. So tips for optimizing titles and tags. Use all 13 tags for each of your listings. Exact phrase matches are much stronger matches on individual words. For example, a search for, quote, banana backpack, end quote, would return all items with the words banana and backpack in the tags or title. But items with the exact search phrase, quote, banana backpack, end quote, in the title would be considered a closer match. So basically what I just explained. If a word or phrase in a buyer's search appears in both the title and tags of a listing, the search algorithm considers that listing more relevant than a listing with that word or phrase in the tags or title alone. So it's okay to have repetition of your most valuable keywords in both the title and the tags. Not only is it okay, but Etsy's telling you that their algorithm, that signals to it that even more significance of those words. And last, words at the beginning of titles are considered more important than words at the end. Okay, we just covered that a second ago, but it's good to just reiterate it, guys. Front load your titles with the most relevant words. Not everybody knows this, okay? What you're learning right now is valuable. So if you're still with me, guys, please consider hitting that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not. That would be much appreciated. Obviously, I put a lot of time and effort into this video, so thank you. All right, and descriptions. So we also can include a description. So this is from Etsy. They recommend with your descriptions, guys, create an inverted pyramid. So that means put the important information at the top. 2, short paragraphs and bullet points should be included. If you write one really long block of text, people never read that. You know what I mean? It's just like a wall of text. It's an internet meme at this point, right? When you write for the internet, when you write for the web, it's okay to use the return key and split a long paragraph up into multiple short ones. 3, keep an eye on your shop's stats, okay? Because that can help you figure out what keywords people are searching that ultimately leads them to your product listings. And I'll cover that in the a later section as well. 4, maintain a consistent brand voice. And 5, end with a link. So not a lot of people utilize links in descriptions, but you can actually put clickable links in the descriptions. And one way to do it would be like, if you have a design that's popular on a t-shirt, I do recommend, hey, if it's selling on a t-shirt, people might buy it on a hoodie, a sweatshirt, something else. So if you create other product listings on Etsy with the same design, but on a hoodie or a t-shirt, or you can sell the digital file of the design itself if you choose to. I've seen people doing that. You can link to them in the description, right? Not a bad idea. Because again, you're just trying to capture sales, get that money. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is great advice when it comes to descriptions. And I don't know if I put a link here. No, I didn't. But Etsy also announced that they're changing how they submit data that Google sees for their information for essentially how our listings show up in search results, where the title that we use on our product listing on Etsy is what the title is going to be on Google, but the description that Google includes, which is the meta description for the web developers out there, you guys already knew that, for everybody else. And so Etsy in the past was using kind of like they're basically just saying like, this product in this category has this many favorites from this shop, you know, where this would be a variable, you know what I mean, where it would pull it in from your actual shop. And instead of that, which doesn't look that good in search results, they're now going to take the beginning of your description. So it really means you should front load your product listing descriptions with relevant keywords because they're going to show up in Google. So again, the repetition of the high value primary keywords is a great strategy, guys. And if I'm overwhelming you, please don't worry. I'm going to bring this all home at the end and show you exactly how I'm running my Etsy business. And I know right now it seems like there's a lot of moving pieces and it's probably a little overwhelming. The software I'm going to show you at the end is called My Designs. Don't worry, I'm going to obviously give you a tutorial. It does all of this for us using as much automation as possible, and it makes better listings than most people do manually. So it's absolutely incredible. So we just talked about how to optimize our listings for the search algorithms. That's very important because that's step one to getting in front of people. But once you're in front of people, there are plenty of alternatives. Whatever we're selling, we can bet that other people are probably selling something similar, especially if we went through the niche research process that I kind of showed earlier, where we took the guesswork out of it by just looking at what was already successful, because that's another way of saying, hey, these are validated ideas because this is what customers are clearly buying. Well, the next thing we need to do to stand out to increase our click-through rate, right? Before we can increase our conversion rate, we need people to actually get to our product listing. So we need to stand out in search results. The way we do this, I recommend, is through really good thumbnail images, because when we are looking at the Etsy search result page, what does a customer see? They see basically the listings, their thumbnails, they see the title, they see the shop reviews. So we already know we need to get that shop review 5 stars, but most people don't read the title. From there are other little things that they may see. They may see like a sale price, which we'll talk about sales later. They may see free shipping. We'll talk about that later. They may see star seller. We'll talk about that later. All these things matter. When they start to add up, that's how we start to really stand out from our competition. But it starts with listing images. So this is a very common thumbnail that you'll see all over Etsy, all over Amazon, all over eBay. This thumbnail is actually like a CGI mock-up where another print-on-demand seller, in this case, the shop name is Prevent or PrevNT Products. They just uploaded a, standard design, and then they let whoever they're using as a production partner, I mean, I could guess who it is, they let them just create a baseline standard mock-up, and it's not on a person or anything like that. It's just a flat t-shirt. They typically call that a flat mock-up. To me, that's about the minimum that you can do. So if I want to sell a t-shirt in this niche, I think I'm going to crush this guy, this person that you see behind me, because I know how to make a better mock-up, simply put. Let me show you a quick example. So I actually use their design for this example. So what if we take that standard baseline generic mock-up that they're using on the left, and they're using it, other people are using it because it's the baseline, it's the default. Let's call it the default. You know what I mean? And what if we just go to Creative Fabrica and grab a actual like mock-up that somebody went and took a photo of here? This is the Bella Canvas 3001, so it actually does kind of matter what t-shirt you're selling. The one on the left, if that's not the same t-shirt, then you wouldn't want to mix up the actual t-shirt because that'll confuse your customers. But for instance, just as like a quick one-stop shop, you can go to Creative Fabrica and find mock-ups for many of the most popular t-shirt types. So this one behind me, for instance, though, this already looks better. I mean, it's basically made almost for Etsy, you could say. It's got the sleeves rolled. It's got the bottom of the shirt kind of tied to one side. It looks a little bit more flashy, more stylish for Etsy, but it's also, it's minimal. This is not a big deal. What if we took that and we added some crazy gradient background? And you're like, Ryan, what in the world are you doing? This looks ridiculous. It looks clickbaity. Wait a second. It does look clickbaity. Let's think about what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get clicked. We're trying to get noticed. Go do a keyword search on Etsy right now. Count how many products you see that are relevant to your search terms that are right there in front of you. It's probably quite a few. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to catch somebody's eye so that they click you and not your competitors? Right? You need to do something to stand out. Now, I'm not telling you it has to be some crazy gradient background, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, right? You're doing something. The standard default white background, the reason it's so popular is because on Amazon, it's required, okay? So when these production partner companies like Printful, Printify, Gearbubble, Awkward Styles, those companies, they often create flat mockups with white backgrounds in case you're pushing to Amazon. So it does make sense, but if we're not pushing to Amazon and it's not against the rules on Etsy, why not try to stand out just a little bit and use a background, I don't know, like this, right? It looks a little crazy, but hey, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. You can also go ahead and do like more Etsy style mockups. Like wouldn't you call these like Etsy style mockups? They got the Etsy look and feel, the handmade. I don't know what to call it other than it just reminds me of Etsy. All right. Coincidentally, guys, you can find a lot of mockups for print on demand sellers. You guessed it, on Etsy, right? Like whoever is selling them, by the way, is really smart. You gotta give them credit, because they're not only competing as t-shirt sellers, but they are saying, hey, why not sell not only to the people buying the t-shirts, but I'm going to sell to the people selling the t-shirts. All right. So you can find a ton of different mockups. You can find the ones that are behind me on Etsy. And then also, like I said, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably paused the video and joined Creative Fabrica for $1. You can find a lot of mockups there as well. And once you have a subscription, you can just go ahead and download all of them, right? So you get quite a bit of bang for your buck if you actually use it. Asterisk, if you actually use it. I recommend using it. So we went from what we see on the left to what we see on the right. And it's really not hard at all whatsoever. There's actually software that can automate all of this in bulk for you. And the one I'm going to show you at the end with my designs, that's probably where you're going to want to go, just because that helps you really streamline everything and do everything in bulk. So yeah, I mean, where technology is today is absolutely crazy. And hopefully like you're enjoying this video and all of what I'm going to show you in the future, what I've already showed you so far. It's going to be really beneficial, not only to your Etsy business, but to all of your online businesses, and especially print on demand businesses from this point moving forward. Because if you didn't know about these things, you have an edge now over the people that still don't know about them, because now you do know about them. Now you just got to use them. Now I want to talk to you about Placeit. So they are like the go-to place on the internet for creating custom mockups. And this is perfect for Etsy because many of these mockups have backgrounds. And like I said, Amazon, you can only have that white background, at least for the primary photo. This actually works for Amazon as well, though. It just can't be your primary photo that shows up in search results. But for Etsy, like I said, that primary photo is how you get clicked. After you get clicked, then you got to worry about converting. So I'm going to jump on over to Placeit. I'm going to show you how we can create some really nice looking primary mockups and additional mockups for our listings, but also video mockups. So you're not going to want to miss that. So I'm here on Placeit. The link is in the description. This is my go-to place when I want like a custom mockup. If I want something specific, it's great. It also has just a ton of different product type mockups, and you're not going to find those many places. Like it's easy to find standard like flat t-shirt mockups. And by the way, when I say that, like Placeit actually works a little bit differently. If someone's like looking at an angle or the shirt is wrinkled, Placeit will wrinkle our design for us so that it actually makes sense with the contour of the shirt. If you go to like Creative Fabrica and you download a JPEG of a t-shirt, a photo of a t-shirt someone took, it's not going to do the contour. You're going to have to put your design over the shirt and, it's going to look the way it looks. So when you do Placeit, you're getting like the cream of the crop, the premium, like top of the line mockups. Okay. So just to show you, they do have other stuff, by the way. We're going to show videos in a second, but I wanted to also show you their mockups. If you go to the mockups part of the menu and then go to apparel and then go to t-shirts, which by the way, like I said, they have a ton of other things: bras, sportswear, sweatshirts, leggings, hoodies, hats. But we're going to go to t-shirts for now. This is just page 1. There's hundreds of pages of mockups available. So we'll look at page 2. We need one, we're going to use the Good Vibes Tribe. So we need one that looks like it'll fit the Good Vibes Tribe. Maybe this one right here. I don't know. The guy with the headphones. Because I feel like Good Vibes Tribe, doesn't that have like a, just remind you of, I don't know, like a music festival or something like that. So let's try this. We'll add the image, recently uploaded. All right, we have our Good Vibe Tribe. And you can actually see I'm covering it. But if in the bottom right corner there, I just moved myself from the video. You can see there's a live preview. So as you're moving the design around, it'll kind of show you what it's going to come out looking like. So I think that looks really good. Maybe even zoom in. I don't want to zoom too much, but I do want it to be, big, because the bigger the design is, the easier it is for the customer to see it. And the whole point is they're buying the design, right? All right, perfect. I think that looks really good. I'm gonna move myself back to the corner of the video. All right, and now we can change the shirt color too if we wanted to. You can make it black, can make it red, whatever we want to. And ultimately too, like just make sure whatever we export as a mockup is available for sale to the customer on the front end of that listing. But I think this looks really good. So I can go ahead and queue this up for a download. Also, let's take a look at Placit's video mockups. They have, as you guessed it, a ton. So I actually just did a search. I typed in shirt video and it says they have over 1,200 results. So just massive, massive, massive. And they're constantly expanding the library. I'll even bet you could probably reach out to them and they'd probably accommodate your requests. So I don't want to overthink things, but you know, there's so many to choose from. You can't really go wrong. I like this one because it starts, like I'm the one I'm mousing over because it starts with the design on the t-shirt really close up. And by the way, Etsy actually tells you in the listing, if you go to any of your Etsy listings that don't have a video, where the video gets uploaded, it tells you that based on an analysis of over 5 million customers, that the statistics showed customers are more likely to purchase a listing that has a video as opposed to one without a video. So why even, you know, why would we negatively impact our conversion rate? Let's just get the video done. All right, the videos take a little bit longer than the images for the mockups to render, as you would imagine, but here we go. You can see it right here on the screen behind me. Looking good, got our shirt, got our design. As long as we have that color of the t-shirt available for whatever print partner we use, we're in good shape. So then we just need to upload our new mockup, our video. By the way, you can do multiple static image mockups. I think Etsy gives us like 10 images to upload to. So we can do things like, you know, maybe 5 mockups from Placeit. You know, we could do a flat mockup that's doesn't have anybody wearing it. Then we could do one with a male, one with a female. We could do a sizing chart, color chart, all those things. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and click download and then we can go pop on over to Etsy and show what the product listing looks like. All right, and here we are. I uploaded it to Etsy, and as you can see here, you've got the nice Placeit image. By the way, when you upload the primary image to Etsy, you can actually crop and show what portion of the image that gets seen by the customers in search results. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can move it up, down, middle. Also, the video working brilliantly, just like we hoped it would. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, like I said, this is I threw this together for demo purposes. If this was a real listing, I would definitely be adding additional images to my listing, whether it's, like I said, sizing chart, color chart. It could be like generic images like washing instructions, whatever you want, just to increase the effort that you put in as a seller to the customer. Again, adding legitimacy to your shop, even if it's a subliminal thing, these can increase your conversion rates, guys. So I do recommend using Placeit as a core weapon in your arsenal for optimizing your listing images. So we've covered quite a bit so far, and I think we should take a minute and put all of it together one more time. So in this example, I'm going to use Allura, who has a whole suite of tools for helping Etsy sellers pretty much across the entire spectrum. And I'm going to kind of give you an oversight into what it is that they offer Etsy sellers. And then we're going to use Gearbubble as our production partner to fulfill the order and to create the initial like mock-up of the product. Of course, with print on demand, the products don't exist until after they sell. But if we're going to get in front of a customer and convince them to purchase it, we still need a really good mock-up. So all of those things are handled for us. So let's start with Allura. They help with product research, but they do so much more than that. They've been expanding their app just ever since it launched, really. I'm really fortunate to have found this app, honestly. So with Product Seeker, you can input your criteria for an unknown product. Like for instance, if you want to have a certain minimum or maximum sales criteria, revenue criteria, monthly sales, price range, really, you can also filter by Etsy category. Essentially, Allura has attempted to clone Etsy's database of products. That way you can query it on the Allura website. So it's really nice if you don't know what it is you want to sell, but you just want to have, you have certain criteria, but you don't know what the actual product's going to be. Well, the Product Seeker can help you there. They have a shop analyzer. So you can actually put your shop in their shop analyzer and it'll show you what you're doing well, what you can improve upon. It actually breaks down each product listing on your shop. If you implement all of the suggestions, that's how you go from an okay shop to a great shop. And if you don't know what shop to look at, they also give you a list of the most successful Etsy shops out there. So you can see Planner Kate is doing about $8.6 million in revenue on Etsy. Absolutely insane. So here is the most recent shop from my Etsy shop review series. Those of you guys that subscribe to my channel, you already know I like to do those every other week on Saturdays. And so I ran it through the Allura shop analyzer, and actually right now it's just giving us some overview statistics, but what you can do then is kind of go down into the listings down here and you can click them and you'll get additional feedback on what you can do to improve them. So there's also a Chrome extension for Allura. It works similar to the Everbee Chrome extension that we looked at earlier, where you can go ahead, do a query, run the extension, and it'll give you all of the similar insights into what is making that listing successful. Is it successful? Sometimes you get listings that aren't that successful. I'm going to show you an example of how we can use this in our niche research process in just a second. Also, the listing report, this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier. When you go from the shop analyzer and you actually look at the listings, the listing report will show you how you can improve your listings. And it goes into like all the SEO things that we talked about already: title length, focus keyword and title, repeating keywords, photos, descriptions, tags, and others. So it's really useful. There's also, this is extremely cool. This is worth the price of admission alone. You can double. I mean, I shouldn't say you can double, but like in their example that they give you on the Allura website, if you use their follow-up reminder, you can essentially automate communications with your Etsy customers to request that they provide honest feedback. So this is a great way of increasing your shop's reviews. I do this on Amazon. I have software that does basically the exact same thing. I set a criteria, X number of days after they receive their product. Hey, how you doing? Hope you enjoy your product. If there's anything that, we can do better, let us know. If not, we'd love to have some honest feedback on, you know what I mean? Something like that. We know that reviews drive sales, guys. If you don't want to utilize this, it's fine. But like, just think about like, this is a massive edge to have over 99 point something % of people who aren't doing it, right? And you can automate it using Allura. So this is amazing. And this is also included. Here's an example. You can have it send a message out to your customers 10 days after an order is complete. I might even go like, 4 days, 5 days instead of 10, because by 10 they may, how crazy life is. They may have already forgotten and moved on to the next thing. So definitely check that out, guys. Also, they launched a marketplace where you can hire people to help you with the common things that Etsy sellers need: business experts, shop critiques, photo editing, video products, etc. Okay, and now in this example, guys, we're going to use GearBubble to fulfill the product and to create the initial product listing via the GearBubble to Etsy integration. Okay. So GearBubble, they sell a lot of products, but what they are most well known for is their jewelry, especially ever since they got bought out by a jewelry company. So here are some examples of necklaces and bracelets that you can currently sell through GearBubble. And these are kind of like high-end jewelry. They also had more of like, I guess, in comparison, a lower end line of jewelry that they've actually recently gotten rid of. So now it's all about, higher end jewelry, and you can command a really nice price point. I'll show you some examples. They also have some earrings as well. So if you're looking for ways to stand out, this is great, guys. And by the way, I'm not talking about selling these blank cards with the jewelry on top. Okay, what you're seeing here is a blank template, but what you can actually do is customize it. And I'm going to show you some examples here. So I went to Etsy, all right? I'm looking for a niche. What niche should we sell in the jewelry niche? I type in message card jewelry, because amongst seller communities, that's what we would reference, or that's what we would pretty much call a lot of these jewelries that I just showed you. Now, there's tons of examples of people selling very similar products to what we intend to sell, but we are looking at the results returned when we search message card jewelry. Now, just because sellers call it message card jewelry doesn't mean that the customers do. So what I realized when I ran the Allura Chrome extension is that this is not a good keyword set to base our research on, because you can see here that really there's not a lot of favorites, not a lot of sales, not a lot of revenue. We can probably find a better set of keywords, okay? And it looks like it's very much concentrated on that one listing, grandmother and granddaughter. So we're gonna move on to, how about this? Sunflower pendant necklace. And I'm actually, because of my YouTuber status, I know it's crazy. I actually have somebody at GearBubble who will like email me the monthly updates of like what the best selling product types are at GearBubble. And it's almost always jewelry. And then they'll let me know like which of the nicer jewelries that they offer are the best sellers. So if you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, I'll try to pass that information along to you as soon as I get it. Okay. And all my socials are in the description. So sunflower pendant necklace, this is looking good, but without Allura, I don't really know how much potential this has. Okay. Before I run the Allura Chrome extension though, I just wanted to show you, here are some examples of what sellers are actually turning those blank cards into. So you actually design the card in the background that the necklace kind of hangs over. Also, look at the price points here. The one on the left, $51.95 is what they're charging. If you go into GearBubble and you type in $51.95 for the sunflower pendant necklace, you'll notice you're making $35 profit per sale. $35 profit. If you're watching the video this far in and you're like, all right, I don't know if I want to sell t-shirts. Well, hey, at a minimum, consider selling jewelry, guys, because if you can charge $50 for jewelry, then you can enable ads, and we'll talk about ads in a second. We'll enable ads on every listing because your profit margin is so high that you can run any advertising budget. And as long as you lock in, your conversion rate does not need to be high at all to support being able to pay for ads when you're making, $35 a sale. That's absolutely incredible. The one on the right here, they're charging $34.95 and they're making $18 per sale. So these are just absolutely massive, massive margins. And that is why you'll see these message card jewelry things gaining popularity. And I bet you this fourth quarter, they're going to be huge. So now is the time to prepare. So I run the Allura Chrome extension. I sort by monthly revenue. So that's the column all the way to the right. When I sort by monthly revenue, it's putting all of the best selling products that are indexed on our search terms. Okay. Indexed on our search terms means we go to Etsy, we type in the search bar, sunflower pendant necklace. All the products returned in search results, those are all showing up right now in the Allura Chrome extension. But because we have Allura and we're not just looking at the Etsy search results, we can see things like how many favorites are they getting? This is a good indicator of popularity, right? How many sales are they making? How many monthly sales are they making? What's the monthly revenue numbers looking like? Okay, so I'm sorting by revenue. I'm just all about making money. So I do that. And ultimately I decide, hey, let's sell a sunflower pendant marketed towards sisters. All right, I really like this listing. So let's do something with this. All right, I'm not going to copy it, but we know at least how we can sell the sunflower pendant, and where we can make it unique and make it our own is with the design on the message card behind it. So I go over to Canva. Okay, we already talked about Canva. I've got the link in the description so you can get started. And without kind of, making this video any longer than it needs to be, I will summarize for you what I did. I went to Canva, I hit new, I put in custom dimensions. I made it 2000 by 2000 pixels. Then I have a blank slate. Okay, so I made the background of the design black. All right, and then I put an image on the foreground. So if you can see on the left-hand side there, it says elements. I clicked into elements and I typed in sunflower. And then I got this awesome picture that you see behind me of sunflowers and some blue wood. So I dragged and dropped that photo. I made it really big, and then I kind of cropped out half of the sunflowers. So what you're seeing behind me, if you actually like this design, what I did was actually hid most of the sunflowers. They're actually off the screen. And then I set the opacity of this image to about 75%, making it darker than it is by default. By doing that, then I can use white text in the foreground, and I think it contrasts really well, so it's easier to read. Okay, and again, it's dark because I made the background, the background of the actual canvas black. Okay, if I made it white, then it would have made it lighter. You see what I'm saying? So then I just put some text over top. The top says sisterhood. That should show up right in the middle of where the necklace hangs. And then underneath it, it says, to my ride or die from day one. Now, I didn't actually do any real research here. I would recommend probably going to Etsy or Amazon or anywhere really, and just kind of looking at, you can go to Hallmark.com, by the way. You can go anywhere. Just find something that sisters say to sisters. So, another quick little tip here, guys, is honestly going to, a website that sells greeting cards or Hallmark, from sister to sister type cards. You can probably find really good text phrases to put on your message card jewelry instead of doing what I did here and just put to my ride or die from day one. That being said, come on, that's not that bad. All right, so now I just download this from Canva. I've got it downloaded, and now I'm going to show you how to launch this in Gearbubble. So in Gearbubble, assuming you guys have signed up, you can join for free. I always put the link in the description. Go ahead and click Launch Campaign. When you click that, you get all the different product types, okay? And by the way, they're constantly adding and sometimes removing products. So if you're looking at this in the future, you may see a little bit different. But this last one down here, it says Theme Precious Jewelry. This is the one you're gonna wanna click. Go ahead, click that, and then click Next Step. And here we are. So earlier when I showed you all the variations of the message card jewelry, you can actually cycle through all the different ones available by clicking that drop down where it says Sunflower Pendant Necklace. This is actually the default that you see behind me. And this is the one that we intended to sell. It's probably the default because I think they did say that generally speaking, this is the best seller. But you can switch that drop down and switch through different product types with the message card jewelry, okay? The base cost, the default cost they recommend is $34.95, where we'll be making $18 profit per sale. Of course, don't forget, Etsy's gonna take fees out of that $18. So you have to account for, whatever Etsy takes. But from there, go ahead and click upload design and upload your design from Canva. So when I do that, here we are. Hey, it doesn't look that bad. Also considering that I really prepared this pretty quickly. I mean, if I really want to, I could go in and keep making optimizations and whatnot, but you always want to try to avoid paralysis by over-analysis. You don't get any extra profit or extra sales from spending, 5 times as long launching one product when maybe in an alternate universe, you launch 5 products in the same amount of time instead of 1 because you just kind of move quickly, right? And as you do this, guys, you get more comfortable, you streamline these processes, it becomes second nature, okay? So now we're going to push it from Gearbubble to Etsy. You can do that in the Gearbubble dropship dashboard. If you guys are actually using Gearbubble, there's plenty of tutorials on the website, but essentially you click one button, it says upload, it pushes it to your Etsy shop, and then you're good to go. It'll look something like this, available for sale, and whatever you decide to charge, hopefully people purchase it. I would recommend if you've got like a massive profit margin, run some ads. It's okay to run ads, guys. Gets your product in front of more customers. And if it performs well, if the click-through rate is high and the conversion rate's high, you're going to end up ranking better and better on those keywords that it's converting on. And yeah, making a lot of money. That's the goal. All right, now we're going to transition into a shop manager tutorial. Okay, so now this is where, we've started stocking our Etsy shop with products for sale. I want everybody that's watching this video to be comfortable in the Etsy admin backend. They call that shop manager. Okay, there's a lot of useful tools for sellers back there, but if you are new to the platform, you may not know how to use them. You may not even know they're there. So that's why I'm going to go through them for you really quickly. So the first one we're going to look at is listings. This is where you'll probably spend most of your time and you'll never guess what's there. Yes, your product listings. Of course, I'm actually keeping most of mine private because, there's no bonus points for me sharing my Etsy shop with the world. So but when you go to listings, guys, all your products should be listed there. What you can do now is you can actually bulk edit your listings. Okay, now you don't just have to look at all of your listings. Like if you're selling hats, you're selling jewelry, you're selling t-shirts, you can actually use the search function and type in hat. And when you type in hat, all of your listings that are indexed on the word hat will show up. Then you can select all and you can do things like, oh, I want to edit the titles in bulk of all of my hats, or I want to edit the tags, or I want to edit the prices, personalizations, production partners, renewal options. Do you want it to be manual? Do you want it to be automatic? Change the shipping profiles, change the sections. Suppose you want to change create an Etsy section called hats. Okay, and the sections are actually visible on the front end of your Etsy shop. So if you create a section called hats, you can then move all of your hats into that section. And when a customer views your Etsy shop on the front end, they can click the section for hats and they'll see everything that you put in there. So you can make another section for shirts. You guessed it. Make one for sweatshirts, make one for jewelry, and you can categorize it by that. You can also go by niche, by the way. So if you're only selling t-shirts, you may want to just split them up by niches. You can make a niche for Christmas, a niche for Halloween, a niche for July 4th, etc. They also have filters. So again, this is really good for bulk selecting your products so that you can then go back here and bulk edit. I just wanted to make you aware that going down the right side of your listing screen, there's all these filters. You can filter by their status, active, draft, expired, sold out, etc. You can filter by sections, by shipping profile, by production partners. This is also useful. Like if you're using Gearbubble exclusively for jewelry, well then you don't even need to search for jewelry. You can just change the production partner to Gearbubble and there's all your jewelry. It should be right there. All right, next, ads. Okay, I mentioned we were going to talk about ads. First and foremost, I just want to say don't be scared of running ads online, guys. Think of it like this. If you're selling a t-shirt and you make $10 profit for every sale, that means you can afford to spend up to $10 per sale, okay, to generate a sale of that t-shirt. And you're like, Ryan, why would I want to spend $10 if my profit is $10? Why would I want to break even? Because every sale you make, guys, whether it's on Etsy, whether it's on Amazon, eBay, anywhere, it's helping the algorithms learn what your product really is and how well it's going to perform in front of customers. It's one thing if you're like, but Ryan, I already put it in my title. I put it in my tags. Doesn't the algorithm know? The algorithm knows, but it doesn't necessarily have to trust us, right? We're one person, us, the sellers, and it knows our goal as sellers is just to make money. You know what it really trusts? It trusts when a customer, which is that's Etsy's bread and butter, really. when a customer comes to Etsy, types something in the search bar, they type sunflower pendant necklace for sisters, then they click the one that we just created and they purchase it. Now they know, hey, when someone's searching for sunflower pendant for sisters, I should show them this product because they may be like this customer that just checked out. They may be willing to click that one and purchase that one. So with ads, we're getting additional visibility on our listings. If people don't see our listings, they don't know it exists, there's a 0% chance they can purchase it, guys. So in order to check out Etsy ads, go to Shop Manager, then go to Marketing, and then go to Etsy ads, okay? You'll be able to see how many listings you're advertising and you can set a daily budget, okay? If you're only comfortable with $1 a day, start there. I mean, $1 a day is not exactly gonna do much for you, but it's something better than nothing, okay? I recommend, whatever you're comfortable with. Here's the thing, you can actually manage this pretty easily as long as you remember that it's advertising, you know what I mean? Then you can just check back in tomorrow, check back in a week later. I would say give it at least a week, and don't spend more than you're comfortable with. Okay, so you can actually click manage your budget and you can go ahead and set your budget higher, lower, whatever, and then click the save changes button. You can also manage your advertised listings, and here you can actually turn off advertising or turn on advertising for your listings. Now, by default, when you launch a new listing on Etsy, it's advertised, and that's if you're using Etsy ads, okay? So if you want to turn it off, what I recommend doing is where you see a filter there, it says listing status, advertised. Go ahead and, I actually set it to advertised. So what I would do is set the status to advertised. If you want to turn it off, work from here, okay? Because if you don't set it to just show the advertised listings, you're gonna have to scroll past all your ones that aren't advertised to find the ones that are to turn them off, okay? There's also search terms associated with each of these product listings that you see here, okay? So when you're looking at your advertised listings, you'll notice that there is text underneath the title that says search terms. So you can actually click this, and what you're able to do is view how many people are getting, or how many impressions you're getting on these search terms, okay? How many impressions you're getting. You can also essentially see, what's the click rate looking like? How relevant is it? And make informed decisions. Also, you can look at the words themselves and kind of see use your head. Is it worth paying for these words? Like if we're selling the sunflower jewelry for sisters and it says something like sunflowers, right? Someone types sunflowers into Etsy. Maybe they're actually looking to buy sunflowers or sunflower seeds. We may want to turn off that search term. So we can actually turn them off here. All right. And our high performing search terms, we just keep them here. All right. And that's kind of the gist of it. So unfortunately, Etsy ads, they used to let us set a bid per click. So I used to tell Etsy, you know what? I'm not trying to spend more than like 5 cents per click. Okay. 5 cents is not a lot. But what was cool was that I was getting a lot of clicks. It was actually working. Etsy was saying, okay, well, I guess these keywords aren't that competitive. So I'm still going to give Ryan's t-shirt here a chance to be clicked by this customer. So I'm going to put it in front of the customer, even though if it gets clicked, it's only going to charge Ryan 5 cents. And if you're Etsy, hey, think about it. That's pure profit. So, it actually makes sense. But anyways, Etsy, in 2019, I think they removed that. They said, you know what? You guys don't get to tell us how much you're willing to spend per click. What we're going to do is let you decide whether or not this listing is advertised. So yes or no, on, off. If it is, we will determine how much you spend per click. And guys, you'll never guess what happened. 5 cents turned into 50 cents per click overnight. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but Etsy, I'm like laughing about it, but I'm also not. It's like, okay, that's what happens when you get greedy. Etsy got greedy. It is what it is. Yes, that actually happened. And if you decide that Etsy ads just aren't for you, you can go back to the main dashboard, click other options, and then click turn off ads. It'll hit you with the second pop-up that says, are you sure you want to reach fewer buyers? And you can just go ahead and click turn off ads and you're good to go. All right, and then just so you know, they also have a frequently asked questions section inside of the ads dashboard. So a lot of the most common questions are answered here. So in case you want to learn more, go ahead and check that out. All right, now let's talk off-site ads. So this is a different type of ads within Etsy. And I've actually seen them restructure it. You used to be able to integrate with like Facebook ads. You could opt into Google shopping ads, but they've restructured it. They've made it simpler, which is actually, I think, a good thing. So I'm actually a fan of how they did this. So here's how Etsy's offsite ads work from the Help Center. Etsy advertises listings throughout the web, including in search engine results, social media sites and apps, Etsy publishing partner sites, and Google Display Network sites. Etsy offers this service with no upfront cost to you. You only pay an advertising fee when you make a sale. I repeat, you only pay when you make a sale. So pretty good deal. That's why I like it. That's why I'm okay with it. Your listings may be included in these advertisements. Etsy may, at our discretion, automatically advertise your listings with our partners. Offsite ads may be optional for your shop depending on the revenue you've made in the past 12 months. Now, last I checked, I think if you've made $10,000 in revenue, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I think it was like $10,000. If you exceed $10,000 in the last 12 months, you get automatically opted into offsite ads. Also, like in my experience, the most successful product I ever sold on Etsy, I got in front of a big trend when it was like peak trend, like peak trending, peak interest. Etsy was running offsite ads for me at no expense to me. All right. And I'm not saying that that will or won't happen to you, but I know firsthand that I've seen it because I went to Google, searched for the primary keywords associated for the big trend, and Etsy was running Google shopping ads like in the sidebar of Google and not, charging me anything. I think because the volume I was selling was sky high that day, and the conversion rate must have been extremely high as well because it was exactly what people wanted. So if you can get, out ahead of a big trend, you can have a massive day like that. That day I sold over $5,000 of a specific trending hat, okay? And I was using Printful to fulfill the hat. So next, to get to the offsite ads, guys, go to Shop Manager, then go to Stats, okay? So it's not under Marketing, it's actually under Stats. And then go to offsite ads. And here you can see shoppers clicked on your offsite ads, X number of times and placed X number of orders. All right, now let's talk sales and discounts. This is actually pretty important and definitely utilized by a lot of Etsy sellers. So you can get here by going to Shop Manager, Marketing, and then Sales and Discounts. So you'll see you can either run a sale or create a promo code. In summary, I do recommend everybody run a sale. I actually factor in when I'm pricing my products if I'm going to be running a sale. So if I want to offer like a 10% off sale, well, and I want to charge $19.99 for a t-shirt, I'll offset the price of the t-shirt. Like I'll increase the price of the t-shirt knowing that I'm then going to have 10% off and it'll bring it to $19.99. Now I know, most buyers are educated enough when they see, oh, look, it's on sale, but it comes right to $19.99. Isn't that interesting? Most people get it that that's just a part of the game of selling on Etsy, but there's actually some benefits to running a sale. Some customers, number one, actually think it's a sale and they think they're getting a discount. So that's something you can use to your advantage. Another one is if you set a short duration sale, so you actually get to set the sale duration. If you set the sale to start today and end tomorrow, or maybe in 2 days, Etsy will oftentimes on the listing, they'll do a countdown. So instead of saying like, oh, sale end, or it won't even say when it ends. If it's too long, I think if it's beyond like 2 days, or maybe it's like 36 hours. I think if it's like beyond 36 hours, it just says on sale, X% off. Like in this case, 10% off. If it's inside, I think it's 36 hours. It'll actually do a countdown. It'll say, uh-oh, like sale ends in 30 hours. Sale ends in 5 hours. So a lot of the biggest, most successful Etsy shops are resetting their sale every single day so that customers that want to check out are like, oh crap, this sale's going to be over really soon. I got to make my purchase before I have to pay extra tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So it's psychology. In addition to that, guys, if other Etsy sellers are spying on your shop and you run a sale, then instead of Etsy telling people, oh, X number of people have this product in their cart, which would indicate a really successful product because all these people have it in their cart, they intend to buy it, you can actually make it harder on people that want to spy on your Etsy shop because generally speaking, when you run a sale, it will not display however many people have that product in their shopping cart. So this is a nice way of getting people off your trail. All the other Etsy sellers that want to, compete with you and see what you're selling that's working, it's a nice way to throw them off your scent. So to run a sale, guys, you just need to set a discount amount. So the default is percentage off, and that's the most commonly used one, and I just set it to 10% off. Where is this offer valid? I put everywhere. You can actually set it by like geolocation, by country, etc. order minimum. So if you wanted to, you could set like a minimum number of items. So you could say like 50% off when you buy 2 shirts, and then you could set the number of items to 2. Or order total. You could say like, 50% off orders of $100 or more. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking out loud here, but you can set all of that criteria up here, and you can actually set up different sales. You see what I'm saying? For duration, we already talked about that. The maximum you can run it, by the way, is 30 days. The minimum is 24 hours. Terms and conditions, I typically just put something exciting like, oh, enjoy 10% off. And then you can name your sale. All right. Then you have to add all of your listings. You don't have to add all of them. If you only want the sale to apply to specific listings, you can do that here. And if you add your products to sections, then when you click add multiple listings, that drop down, you'll see all of your sections there. So if you have like your jewelry, your hats, your shirts, your sweatshirts, whatever else, all those sections will be there. All right. Also, I do highly recommend doing this. You can have Etsy automatically sending offers to interested shoppers. And I just remembered something. So let me go back really quickly to sale. When you run these sales, guys, if someone has your product favorited or in their shopping cart, I can't remember if it's both or if it's just favorited, but when the sale starts, sometimes Etsy will like send them an app push notification or an email that says, hey, that product that you've been wanting to buy because you had it favorited or because you had it in your cart, it's on sale now, go check out, go check out. And guys, like out of sight, out of mind, right? But in sight, in mind, they can actually purchase. So it's another way of it's not even gaming the system. I mean, Etsy built this with that intent, you know what I mean? With that in mind. So leverage that to your advantage. So resetting your sale pretty often is really a beneficial thing. It's just a little bit extra work. All right, so now the automatic sends to interested shoppers, you can actually set up so that Etsy will send a thank you email to people who recently made a purchase from your shop, and you can offer them a coupon to come back and purchase something else. So if this is especially useful, if you're running like a niche shop. So if you're selling a shop that's related to people that love going bird watching, they may buy, a postcard that you made or a piece of jewelry for bird watchers, right? Then, X number of days later, they get a thank you email from your shop saying, hey, I hope you appreciated the product you bought. Why don't you come back? I'll give you 10% off your next order. They're like, oh, I love that bird watching shop. Hey, let me get something else. Etsy will automate this for you. You can have it automated send abandoned cart emails, people that added to cart but never checked out. Perfect. Love that. Favorited item, kind of what we just talked about with the, oh, it's on sale now. They get a notification. Well, hey, if they favorited it, they're expressing interest in it. You can have Etsy automatically send them emails as well saying, hey, you favorited it, you didn't purchase it. How about 10% off? So take advantage of all of these, guys. This is great marketing. It's a great marketing tutorial in general. It's just great advice, but also it's automated. So it's not like you have to be here doing it yourself. It's passive once you set it up. So sit down, set it up. It's very similar to what we just set up here with our sale. So yeah, definitely take time to do that. That is a must in my mind. All right. Also, I wanted to mention that there is software called Mark Etsy, and it exists basically to pull your customer emails from Etsy into an external list. Because guys, every real business, every real online business, you want to have methods of communicating with your audience. Okay. And this is helping you build an email list of people, your targeted audience that liked your shop enough to make a purchase. Okay. So Mark Etsy is just a nice way of doing that. It's automated, really easy to use. So I can drop a link to that in the description as well if you're interested. All right. And then last, creating a promo code. All right. So this actually works really well with Mark Etsy, because what you do is, let's say, it's the first day of fall. You want to run a fall sale. So you can come here to promo code. You can say, all right, I'm going to set a percentage off code up. I'm going to put 25% off. All right. But when you run a sale, here's the difference. When you run a sale, it's automatically applied to all of the listings that you tell it to apply to. So if I apply it to my sunflower pendant necklace for sisters and it shows up in search results, the sale price is automatically applied. It's what people see. By the way, the sale discount is showing in search results too. So that's another reason why you should run a sale. Above that though, promo codes are kind of like private. Promo codes, the people have them that you show the promo code to. So if you're using Mark Etsy to build your email list, well, who are you going to send your promo code to? Probably your email list of your shop customers, right? So set your discount amount. You can set the order minimum. We already talked about that. The duration of the promo code before it expires. Then go ahead and name your promo code. Now, you'll notice when you name the promo code, do you see this right here? As you name it, Etsy will automatically build you this link right underneath where you name your code. That link you can send in your email blast, right? So if you're doing email marketing, you don't have to say, hey, use this code, right? Because the more complicated, I know it's not really complicated. You tell me, is it complicated to copy paste a promo code? Probably not, but the thing is, for some people, it is, all right? For some people. So why make them copy paste it? What Etsy allows us to do, this link right here, if you just send people an email with a link to your shop that has the coupon applied, it'll automatically apply the coupon for that person when they check out. So that is the easiest way to do this. This is just email marketing best practices. This is digital marketing 101, and Etsy is assisting us in being successful at it. So I really applaud them for that. All right, next, the stats section. And this is what you would expect, guys. This is, by the way, within Shop Manager, if you just click stats on the sidebar, it'll take you here. There's a ton of information of how people are finding you on Etsy, all right? And it's always good to visit this at least once a week, I would say, because, well, actually, you know what? I have some expert tips that I'm going to show you in a little bit in this video from expert Etsy sellers. And one of them actually has a really good piece of advice that kind of involves using the stats section. Basically, when you have something that's working, do more of that, all right? If you have stuff that isn't working, do less of that, right? I know it's simple, it's obvious, but sometimes we need that reminder, guys. In order to know what's working, check the stats section so we can actually see here, guys, like how are we bringing people to our Etsy shop, to our listings, okay? Etsy app and other Etsy pages, all right? That's going to come up with, you know, X number of visits. Etsy search, Etsy marketing and SEO. Beyond that, direct and other traffic. So I think that could be like Google, for instance. Social media, you know, do you have a social media presence for your shop? By the way, in this video, I will show you how you can automate your shop's social media presence. Yes, automate. You guys, you're hearing a lot of keyword repetition there because you know I'm all about the automation, because when you automate things, guys, you can worry about scaling, growing. You know what I mean? You sit down, you grind it out, and then it works automatically. And you can go on to the next best thing, you know what I mean? To bigger and better things. So I'll show you how to automate your social media. And Etsy ads, you can see how many visits are brought in by Etsy ads as well. Within the stats page, you can find your listings. I think they're towards the bottom. And when you click the listings, you can actually see what search terms are bringing people to that listing. This can be extremely valuable because it's possible that you're getting people finding your listing for keywords that you don't even have prominently featured in your listing. So it's okay to go back into one of your listings, update the title, update the description, update the tags with keywords that are performing well. You know, this is not that uncommon. On Amazon, they have a specific ad type that aims to do that. It aims to help you find additional keywords that are relevant to your listing. It's called an automatic ad campaign. And you essentially just say, hey, Amazon, here's some money, go spend it, and see what other keywords that maybe I missed that are relevant to my listing. Now, Etsy doesn't really have that as far as I know. I mean, you could argue it kind of is the Etsy's default ads, but it is, but it isn't, right? Because Etsy is also just kind of looking at our listing, finding keywords that we provided, and then, you know, advertising on those. All right, the finance section. So go to Shop Manager and then Finances. Here you can manage things like your payment account. How are you paying Etsy if you need to switch that card? Monthly statements, payment settings, QuickBook and TurboTax integrations, and then legal and tax information. So you can manage all those things in the Finances section. Star Seller section. Oh, you guys have probably seen a couple shops with that purple badge, and I should say coveted purple badge, because any little distinction you can get, like that, you know, nice shiny purple badge, is great. You know, that's going to catch the customer's eye. It's going to make them feel more comfortable shopping with you as opposed to the shop that doesn't have it. So Star Sellers on Etsy, essentially I'll show you how you can get this achievement. But first, let me just kind of read you essentially what the rewards are when you are an Etsy Star Seller. So you stand out from the crowd. You get badges for speedy replies, smooth shipping, and rave reviews. Earn all three and get your Star Seller badge. You have more chances to be featured. They highlight some Star Sellers in their marketing to buyers, making it easier for shoppers to connect with customer service all-stars. And you get more traffic and sales. Star Sellers made more in sales and got more listing views on average than similar non-Star Sellers. So I didn't need Etsy to tell me that for me to assume it's true. It's just one of those things, guys. It's like having, 500 positive reviews on a product listing, and next to you is a product listing with like 0 reviews. Which one do you think is going to stand out more? Of course, the one with 500 reviews. So how to become a star seller. Basically, on the first of every month, Etsy is going to determine eligibility for star sellers by looking back at the previous 3 months. So this is not just something you get and then you're a star seller forever. This is something that you need to be actively managing on Etsy and essentially striving to do the best you can possibly do. So you need to reply to messages within 24 hours. You need to ship orders on time with tracking. You need to earn ratings of 4.8. 5.8 isn't even possible. 4.8 stars or higher. And you need to make at least 5 sales worth $300. Okay, so this is honestly not that hard to do, guys. The hardest one is probably going to be just responding to messages, maybe for most people. But like I said, figure out a streamlined process that works for you. Like I said, I installed a web browser that is exclusively for my Etsy business. All right, now I'm a previous web developer, so I mean, I'm looking up at my monitor. I think I have like maybe 8 different web browsers installed. And each of my web browsers, I set the default tabs so that when I open them, they go to different things. For instance, for Etsy, I use the Brave browser. Okay, so if you've never used the Brave browser or you don't have that installed, go ahead and install that and make it for your Etsy business. So when I open my Brave browser, I've got my whole business, the email, the shop, go to my sale page, refresh the sale, all of the production partners, Printful, Printify, Awkward Styles, Gear Bubble, you know what I mean? They're all right there. All right, and this is just how I streamline things to make it easy on myself so that I can multitask. All right, so keep making things easier on you. All right, and here we go. I just did a search on Etsy for fall shirt. Very generic, very high value keywords. And what do you know? And I'm actually hiding one. 5 of the top 8 products shown in search results are star sellers. So I think that tells us something. We need to strive to become star sellers. All right, and then the messages section in Shop Manager. So go to Shop Manager and then click Messages. Now I mentioned this is probably the hardest part of achieving, I think for most people I'm saying, of achieving star seller status, guys. And it's because, when someone messages you, they want you to respond. Etsy wants you to respond within 24 hours of that first message. So whether it's you monitoring your email inbox or you just keeping a browser tab open to your messages, whatever it is, guys, you got to stay on top of it and at least acknowledge that you received the message. Even if you just say, hey, I got your message, I'm going to look into it, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Say something like that. All right, but you got to stay on top of the messages. Otherwise, that star seller badge is going to get further and further away. All right, orders and shipping. So you get there from Shop Manager and then orders and shipping section. All right, and here you can see all of your new orders that are incomplete. And if you need to like manually upload tracking, or if you need to purchase shipping labels through Etsy, if you want to manually fulfill your own orders, like maybe you have a print on demand shop, but then you also listed something that you have at your house for sale and it sells, you can actually go and buy a shipping label through Etsy and you'll get it at a discounted rate. Okay, so that's why you might want to do it through Etsy, and you can do that just by clicking the little speedy van icon there to purchase it. Additionally, you can see your completed orders as well. So if you need to go back in time and look at previous orders for any reason, you can find all of those here. They also have a community and help section. So I don't spend that much time here, honestly. If you found this YouTube video, hopefully this video is going to replace the community and help, but it's good to know it's there. So within the community and help section, guys, you can find information, or where you can essentially find teams, forums, Etsy help, seller help, shipping help, site policies, and you can contact Etsy there. So anything you need to contact Etsy support about, go to the community help section and then go to contact us. All right, settings, we won't spend too long here. I just want to make you aware that this is where you can do things like manage your Etsy Plus subscription if you want to sign up, if you want to cancel. Info and appearance, so you can add members to your shop, change your profile picture, etc. About your shop, so the public facing portion of your shop, if you want to customize certain things, you can do that there. Other options, shipping settings, policy settings. So a lot of the stuff that we set up when we initially opened our shop, you can find here. And there's other ways to edit it as well, like through the Shop Manager. Production partners, you can add, remove, edit production partners. You can set up your Etsy offsite ads here. You can mess with the languages. Honestly, I've never messed with the languages, but there's a section for languages there. And then they also have a Facebook Shops integration as well, but it's not what it sounds like. It's not like anything too special. I did some research before I recorded this because I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And yeah, it's not anything too special. All right, and then your dashboard, you should be familiar with this. This is what you see right when you log into Etsy. So just wanted to make you aware that, this is the default view. This is the top link on your Etsy shop manager is your dashboard. And just wanted to make you aware that all of this is there. By default, you can see like your total views, your visits, your orders, your revenue. And if you scroll down, they give you feedback like your shop's checklist, recommendations, etc. And you can see recent activity. So you can see like when, a customer recently purchased something, left a review for something, favorited something. Okay. So you can manage all of that right here under recent activity. All right. And then there's also a sell in person. Now, I don't know why this is even there other than maybe Square is paying them. You guys know Square, that company that essentially is like a point of sale that you can kind of plug into your phone or whatnot, or they have the little Square reader apps. Essentially, Etsy has an integration with Square, so you can actually sell in person and the statistics will funnel back into your Etsy shop. So if anybody, maybe there's like, a fraction of 1% of you guys watching this video that this may be relevant to. And if that's you, let me know in the comments. But I want to let you know that this is in fact down there in the shop manager. Thank you guys who are still with me. I know I've been talking for a really long time, but now I get to pass the mic to a couple of my friends who are experts at selling on Etsy, and they're going to offer you guys up a couple tips to help you succeed. The first is Cassie Johnson. She's also a YouTuber who loves to talk about Etsy, so I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the description. She sold over $500,000 on Etsy inside of her first 2 years, so she certainly knows what she's talking about, and I'm going to pass it over to her.
One of my very best tips if you're just getting started selling on Etsy for the first time is to double down on what's working. If you have a design that sells more than 3 times, then add that design to other color shirts, to different items like sweatshirts, tote bags, or mugs, and really capitalize on the SEO that you've found that's working, the types of designs that sell well in that niche, because why not come up in the same search results 10 times instead of just once?
I really love that piece of advice from Cassie because it's something I've been doing since the beginning of my print-on-demand journey. Anytime I've got a product that's making regular sales, I will go into that niche again. I will create more product listings in that niche on those primary keywords. When you do this, you increase the real estate that you occupy in search results on those terms. You increase the likelihood of a customer clicking you and not your competition, and you make it harder for your competition to make a dent in that niche because you own most of the search results, hopefully. Next, I want to introduce you to Hannah Gardner, a really successful Etsy seller as well as a YouTuber. So you guessed it, I will link to her channel in the description. Hannah cracked almost $1 million in sales in her first year selling on Etsy. It's an incredible story, so I recommend checking out her YouTube channel as well.
So the people that are really crushing it on Etsy right now are the people that are being the most consistent. So consistency is king. So the people that are obsessively fine-tuning their business every single day and learning what they need to learn about their customer avatar, about their competition in order to know that they're building competitive products and building competitive listings before they enter the marketplace. And you only do that and get that information by being consistent and being patient, because this stuff doesn't happen overnight, and working on their business to learn what they need to learn.
Thanks, Hannah. When you guys start your Etsy businesses, it needs to be viewed and treated like a real business. It's not just a sit down once, launch the shop, and never think of it again. This is going to be a repetitive thing that you need to actively manage on a day-to-day basis, ideally. You know what I mean? Whether that's customer service or checking on orders, making sure they're going out. Yeah, it's streamlined and it's automated, but you still should have some oversight there. Launching new products, doing research, doing design, all these things you need to know up front. You need to show up every day, be consistent. Now I want to introduce you to my friend Spencer, and he is probably the most successful Etsy seller that I know. Spencer he's basically accomplished it all in a very short span on Etsy, including being the rank 1 Etsy shop in the entire world for a period of time. This behind me are his sales for 2022 between just January and August. Okay, just January and August. So that's about 8 months. All right, actually less at the time of the screenshot. And you can see he's already done $650,000 in revenue. So Spencer certainly knows what he's talking about, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Spencer. If I had one tip for you guys to start on Etsy is to focus on your listing photos. Answer all questions that your customers might have on the listing, like with the listing photos. For example, if you're selling t-shirts, you want to answer that, what sizes you have, maybe the shipping time, and the colors. That'd be some of the big questions that they're asking, and maybe have a guarantee so like they know your return policies, put that in there.
Thanks again to Cassie, Hannah, and Spencer for taking time out of their day to drop a couple expert tips for me to share in this video. Definitely show them some love. All their information is linked in the description. So this is the part of the video that I'm looking forward to most. It is how we can automate every aspect of our business. And I just want to preface it with letting you guys know there are a lot of different ways to go about automating the various aspects of your Etsy business. When I launched this most recent new Etsy shop that I'm actually sharing with my girlfriend, we spent a ton of time looking at different tools to handle different aspects of the business. And I had a really nice workflow, about as good as I could have asked for. However, it was very fragmented. I had tools to do this, tools to do that, and it got a little bit tedious. And even though I was heavy on the automation, I was still actively having to manually do a lot of the processes, even just kicking off the automated processes. So what I realized was that I'm probably better off using My Designs. So My Designs is software built for print-on-demand sellers to automate as much as possible, with the caveat that instead of it being a fragmented, fractured, this tool for that, and next thing you know, you've got 5 different subscription fees, all for tools that do different things, different aspects of your Etsy business, My Designs brings it all together under one roof. They're basically a cloud-based repository for your designs, so you can upload them. They sit in the cloud. You can organize them by folders. From there, you can do everything required to create top-notch Etsy listings. Let me show you. So I'm here on the My Designs website. By the way, if you use the link in the description, you can join completely free. This is the most powerful software for print-on-demand sellers out there that I've ever seen, and it's by a pretty wide margin. So I would recommend opening your account, locking it in the free tier while the free tier still exists. So that link is down there in the description. Now let me show you how I use My Designs. The easiest way for me to do it, I realized, was just to go to their website and kind of show you all of the amazing functionality that it offers. So to start, like I mentioned, you can upload and store your designs in the cloud. You can organize them using a folder structure, and you can even have nested folders. So you can have, like you see in the example there, a folder for each major trending holiday. You can have folders for sub niches, etc. You can create templates and collections. So the templates, think of them as like data templates. You can structure how many listing images you want to have. So, and you're probably like, Ryan, what do you mean listing images? I thought you just said we drag and drop our designs. You do. You upload your designs, and My Designs actually has the ability to generate mockups. So you can create how many image mockup slots you want to have. You can add custom fields. I've gone through various use cases for them. Not going to do it in this video, but I will of course link to my other YouTube videos where I explain how and why I use them, because the whole point of My Designs, guys, is we are able to create pristine listings. That means titles, bullets, descriptions, mockups, but we do it in bulk, and then we publish in bulk. Like I said, we're streamlining and automating all of these processes. We're not cutting any corners, and we're doing it in bulk. So you can edit your data, like you can do, appends. You can append to the front, append to the back. You can overwrite. You can do find and replace, which is actually really useful. Just yesterday, I was talking to my girlfriend about our new shop and how we essentially, we put the primary keywords associated with a design as the file name. Then we go to My Designs, and we can actually have the software read the file name that we just uploaded and store it in a field. So often what we do is we have a field called primary keyword. Then we can access that variable data, right? Because that value of that field is going to change from design to design. We can pull in the primary keyword using a variable and pull it into the title, pull it into the description, pull it into the tag generator. Yes, they have a tag generator. So you feed in the primary keyword, it gives you all the most relevant tags from existing successful designs on Etsy. And then you can also like filter your data, everything like that. You can, it's very robust in the functionality. So they have an app store where you can actually publish apps if you wanted to. It integrates with their software. So this is going to be going places in the future. It's still in its infancy right now. Actually, as of recording this video, it's still technically in beta, which is why you can still get a free account. So I'd recommend locking that in. In the future, though, developers will be developing apps for My Designs, just like you have the Shopify App Store. Also, they have integrations, like they integrate with marketplaces like Etsy and Shopify. And in the future, they're going to expand it to additional marketplaces like eBay and Amazon and who knows what else. So they let you select your listings essentially. Like when they're in My Designs, we can't call them listings yet because they're not available for sale. But in My Designs, they're just, you know, little entities. Like think of them as it started with a design, but then you use the software and you can turn one design into, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 different mock-up images, all using their dynamic mock-up generator, but you can do it in bulk. You can kick these processes off in bulk, and they have some great looking mock-ups. So if you saw me do Placeit, you saw me say you can get mock-ups on Creative Fabrica, you can do it in My Designs in bulk faster than the alternatives, guys. So of course it's faster. You're doing more than one at a time. It is inevitably, right? You can publish your products for sale, by the way, through My Designs as digital downloads, so as digital files. Or, and by the way, when you do that, it'll do automatic conversions for you to all the relevant file types. Or you can publish them as print-on-demand products, and My Designs has their own production partners that integrate with them. So that'll automate the fulfillment of your orders after it takes place. So hopefully you see what we're doing here. We're creating pristine listings with no corner cutting. We're doing it all in bulk, and we still have all the benefits of automated order fulfillment. You know, they upload tracking, etc. And then My Designs is also pulling in all that data, so you get a very robust, informative dashboard as well when you log in. So this is really it, guys. Like this is software that I'd never envisioned would ever exist because of the engineering required to make it happen. However, they've got a team of kick-ass engineers that not only made it happen, but they've been doing this at like lightning speed. They're also very receptive to community feedback. So if you end up using My Designs and you have a suggestion, go ahead, use the forum, and they'll get back to you. They oftentimes implement these features very quickly. So I'm a huge proponent of this software, a big fan. Here's a quick example of what I was referencing in My Designs. So I have the file name of My Designs. Like if it's a picture of Santa Claus, I might just put Santa Claus as the file name, right? SantaClaus.png. When I upload it to My Designs, and by the way, you can upload in bulk. I've uploaded 200 designs at a time. You just drag, drop, click the upload button, you're good to go. I can then tell My Designs, the app, to read the file name of all of those 200 files and dynamically store each one in a database field called primary keyword, right? I can then access that value dynamically and use it in the title. So if I want to by the way, earlier I just realized I don't think I completed my thought, but I was trying to say that you can do like a find and replace. So when we had the word t-shirt hard-coded in the file name, my girlfriend's like, oh, is that a problem? I said, no, it's not a problem because I'm going to store that in a value in My Designs. Then I'm going to do a find and replace in bulk and say, if you see the word t-shirt, switch it to sweatshirt. And then we're going to publish these designs not only to t-shirts, we're going to publish them to sweatshirts, to hoodies, etc. And we can do that in bulk, okay? But we can feed the primary variable into the title, and we can say primary variable t-shirt, primary variable sweatshirt, or if you have it hard-coded, you can just do a bulk find and replace. You can feed it into the tag generator. Writing tags for 200 listings, 13 tags each, 20 characters max. Oh my God, that would just take you forever. Oh, but with My Designs, you can do it all in bulk and have it go fetch the most relevant keywords for you based on the top performing listings indexed on those keywords that you provide from Etsy. I mean, that alone is like, okay, that should immediately illustrate the value, but then you're getting all this other stuff on top of it. You can feed in the variables when you're doing your descriptions in bulk. You can use the variables as well in your mock-up images. So remember how I was saying that it can do the mock-ups? You probably thought t-shirts, but what if it's like a digital download? Well, if it's a digital download, you can actually put the primary keywords in the image itself because My Designs supports that. But you're not only doing it, you know, one at a time, you're doing it in bulk. I have to keep saying that because it's amazing. Like you just queue up these processes and then it runs in the background. You can go do whatever you want to do. You don't have to sit at your computer and wait. By the way, it typically only takes a couple minutes, so you can wait if you want to. You can generate mock-up images, any number of them too. You know, you can do 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. You can do image edits. So I think I have an example of that I'm going to show you in a second. And you can sell digital files and it will convert them into all the relevant file formats so that you look like a professional digital file seller and not somebody doing it that doesn't know what they're doing, right? And I mean, again, you may not know what you're doing, but if you use My Designs and you upload an SVG digital file for sale, it's going to convert it to like PNG, PDF, JPEG, like all the other relevant file formats, and then it'll deliver them to the customer for you. By the way, I do have a full video that I released not too long ago walking through how you can use the My Designs Etsy print-on-demand integration, okay? And it is as easy as I've made it sound, I promise, but this has the step-by-step in it. So again, make sure you join. It is free currently. And as I mentioned, you can sell digital files. So when you go to the Publish tab, instead of hitting Products, hit Digital. By the way, selling digital files, guys, is a nice way of getting something for nothing. There's no overhead with a digital file. It's just like instant delivery. So here's a quick example of how you can use My Designs. So you upload that picture of the frog holding a mushroom, and notice that in the mockup that we generated on the left-hand side, number one, we were able to set like a cool green color background dynamically. You can set that color to anything you want. We added the text dynamically. So the top piece of text says frog mushroom, and that's a dynamic variable. You can actually see over here on the 4 that it's dynamically pulling in the title of each of those files and putting that as the main text. Then the underneath text, it looks like they used a second variable, but they hard-coded the value of the second variable to just say SVG, PNG, JPEG, PDF, EPS, DXF. So all the formats, basically if you upload an SVG, My Designs on their server will convert into all the additional formats, and that's what the customer will get when they make a purchase. So again, it's just increasing the conversion rate, increasing the keywords that you get indexed on when you're selling digital files. Some people, they may Google, you know, I want the PDF format of this graphic. And if you're not selling the PDF format, you will not get indexed on search results. You have no chance of locking in that sale. But when you use My Designs, you got all the major extensions. So that's just one huge benefit, and that's in the context of selling digital files. Also, I mentioned that you can edit images. Yes, believe it or not. So here we've uploaded a static camping design. It's just one flat color with a transparent background. But we can actually go into the image tools and we can do things. I put a screenshot up at the top there. You can add a color overlay, so we can change that color from brown to black to white to whatever. We can overlay patterns the way that you would do a clipping mask in Photoshop, except in My Designs, you could do it in like 2 seconds and you can preview it before you apply it. You can add other effects. I mean, it's just beautiful, guys. You can resize the images if you need to. So here, we just generated this right here. You see this on the right-hand side. That was with a pattern overlay. And it's basically the equivalent of doing a clipping mask. And if you're wondering, well, Ryan, where am I going to get images that look that cool? You know, I love that smoky gradient of the blue, red, pink, whatever we want to call it. Where am I going to get those? Yeah, so My Designs has those built in. So you have an option of like 10, 20, I mean, it's probably like 30 or 40 at this point that you can just have overlaid. And if you like it, you can just click go and it'll save that to whatever file slot you want to save it as. So you can actually sell your digital files with multiple overlays in My Designs. This is opening up so many doors. Hopefully you see what I'm talking about now. So I have a video specifically dedicated to selling digital downloads through My Designs as well. It's actually pretty popular on my YouTube channel, and I will link to that in the description so you can check it out. In these videos, I go a lot longer. I mean, this video is already over 2 hours long, so I figured why not spare you and me from having to do a step-by-step. But if you're interested, I would highly recommend it. And while it's in beta, make sure you open that free account. All right, guys, you can also automate social media. I said that earlier. I don't know if you guys believe me, but it actually is possible. So I did a video where I walked through the exact process. Essentially, what we're doing is we're using either If This Then That. I'm assuming most of you guys have not heard of If This Then That, but it's basically an app out there on the internet that essentially allows you to bridge different applications that maybe aren't meant to bridge naturally. So if there isn't like a specific Etsy API open that says, hey, when this shop publishes a new product, send a tweet out, send a Facebook page update out, you know, send a Pinterest pin out. It's okay. You know, If This Then That, or also Zapier. This is also more popular, I think, than If This Then That. These apps basically specialize in assisting non-programming literate people, like the vast majority of people, with still being able to accomplish these tasks without writing code, right? Even if there was an API, I mean, you'd still have to write code. And I know most of us probably don't have time, even if you know how. Like that's what I used to do for a living. And I'm telling you, it takes time. Even if you're really good, it still takes time, no matter what. So If This Then That or Zapier, they allow you to streamline and automate these things. And I went ahead, I made your life super easy. So number one, I've got this YouTube video. I will link to it in the description, so you can go ahead and check it out. It's not a long one. Because ultimately, what I would recommend doing is I put this together on Gumroad, all right? So Gumroad is just a website. You can sell things like really quickly, really easily, low friction. And I called it Etsy Social Media Automation with Zapier, okay? So I describe what it is that I'm selling for $7 here. Essentially what it is for, you pay me $7, I let you clone my Zapier Zap so that it's already set up for you. All you have to do is go in there and say, okay, instead of using Ryan's Facebook page, use my Facebook page. Instead of using Ryan's Twitter, use my Twitter. Instead of using Ryan's Pinterest, use my Pinterest. And then when you have a new listing posted to your Etsy, or when you make a sale and it automatically renews, it will automatically post them to your social media. And it's not just about social media, guys. It's that, you know, everything on the internet that's like well-known, you know, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, the ones I keep saying, Google also scans them, crawls those websites constantly and indexes them, right? So it may not be that someone actually cares to follow you on Pinterest, but Google may crawl the image on Pinterest and then it may show up in a search result on Google. And hopefully you see what's happening here, right? Somebody sees the image on a Google search result, they click there, it takes them to your Pinterest. They see your Pinterest shop. They're like, oh, this Pinterest is tied to an Etsy shop. Then they click the link in your Pinterest that goes to the Etsy shop. You see what I'm saying? We're building a network of inbound links to your Etsy shop, increasing the likelihood that people find their way there, because that's the game, guys. Like, assist people in finding your shop. Assist people in understanding that you exist. Like, sometimes we do need to cast a wide net and just keep it simple, keep it broad. You know, what's next? Now they found your Etsy shop. I don't know if it was through Twitter, through Google to Pinterest to Etsy. Now we need to sell things that they care about. That's where niche research comes in. We need to have good designs. That's where, you know, all the, you know, Kittl, Creative Fabrica, Canva, whatever you use, that's where that comes in. And then you need to optimize your listings, good titles, especially good images, you know, a video. We know that that helps convert. All of these things together form a cohesive picture of what it is to be a successful Etsy seller. So don't cut corners. I've given you the tools. I've given you the guide. Go ahead and use it. You know, it's up to you. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't recommend this, right? And I'm not saying you have to do all this tonight. But what I would recommend is don't half-ass it and then say, oh man, I'm not successful. Maybe it's not for me. Don't do less than what you now know the best sellers are doing. Do all of those things. There's really, with my designs, honestly, with my designs, with that software, I can't think of any excuse not to be creating pristine listings, because that software does it all for you in bulk. You know what I mean? Definitely check out my designs if there's one thing you need to take away from this video. And last but not least, guys, this video is going to wrap soon, but I wanted to leave you with a thought. When you exit your business, it's not just, oh, I'm done. I'm just not going to log into Etsy anymore. It's not that. You can sell your business. Yes, just like you would sell any other business in life, you can sell your Etsy business, all right? Empire Flippers is probably the premier destination on the internet to buy and sell online businesses. By the way, if you watched this far and then you're like, Ryan, I really want to be selling on Etsy, but I don't want to do all that work. Guess what? You can go to Empire Flippers. You can buy somebody else's Etsy business too. That is an option. It is legal. No worries. Empire Flippers, by the way, they handhold you through the entire process of buying or selling your online business. So make sure you check out the link in the description so that you can go get started with Empire Flippers, even if you just want to browse and see what's out there. But businesses go for huge multipliers. This is actually an old sale. Okay, this isn't that new. This Amazon merch account, which is very similar to selling print on demand through Etsy, they were doing $58,900 a month in revenue, about $40,000 in monthly profit. They got a 42x forward multiplier when they sold their business. I repeat, 42x. So for every dollar you're making in sales, you get 42x that. All right. And these multiples keep going up. I shouldn't say they keep going up. I can't guarantee you anything, but they are trending up with time. This is why it is well worth going to Empire Flippers, having the experts who help set the market. They help introduce buyers to sellers, sellers to buyers, help you figure out what your business is worth. Okay, you know what I mean? You don't want to sell yourself short when it comes to exiting a business. So I wanted to make you aware that is in fact something you should consider as you're building your business, as you're grinding, you're putting in the sweat equity. Not only are you increasing your monthly recurring passive income, but when that day comes where you want to sell, you're going to get a big payday, 40x plus multiple on your profits. So you can look forward to that. Then you can go buy a house, right? Or if you're this guy, go buy a $1.7 million mansion, right? I also just wanted to share that I did do an interview with Greg from Empire Flippers. It was a really fun one. I learned a lot from him, and I would recommend watching it if you're interested in learning more about how Empire Flippers works, how exiting your business works, or buying one. I will, of course, link to that in the description. Greg was a great guy. That was a great interview. All right, so what's next, guys? We've been at it for a long time. This video, by the way, if you watched until the end, thank you. I really appreciate that. But now it's time, guys. You got to take action, all right? And before you go and leave and go get your Etsy shop started, which I really hope you do, I hope you use the links in the description because they're pretty much all beneficial to you. Some of them are affiliate links. They're beneficial to me, but make sure when you start Etsy, don't forget, you get 40 free listings for using the link in the description. The alternative is you don't use that link, you get no free listings. You know what I mean? So when I keep saying link in description, it's because most of the time there's a benefit to you and to me for you doing it. But it would be really appreciated if you could just like the video, subscribe if it was helpful, save it to watch later so that you can come back and review it. You know what I mean? Hopefully I did my best to provide some valuable insights here. So that's all I ask. I am really hoping to get the YouTube algorithm to favor this video and to help introduce some new subscribers to my channel. So guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. As I wrap up too, I wanted to remind you, actually not remind you, I don't even think I said this earlier. So I'm a 7-figure print-on-demand seller, 7-figure Amazon FBA seller as well. I've been at it for a while. I love e-commerce. I wrote a full print-on-demand course. It goes much, much, much more in-depth than what we covered in this video. Even though this video feels like it's been going on for a lifetime, you can imagine how my throat feels after recording it. But this course, you can find out more. The link is in the description. It walks you through exactly how I make 6-figure print-on-demand sales minimum every single year, and I'll help you start, scale, and automate your business exactly as I run mine, guys. There's a lot more to it than what I covered in this video, even though I covered a lot. Also, you get all my tips on how to like really streamline a lot of these processes, because that's how I'm able to do so much. It's that I automate and streamline processes. I try to simplify them. And if something's not worth spending time doing, I don't do it. You know what I mean? So check that out. The link is in the description. All right, and we are here. We have made it to the end, guys. I do really appreciate your time. If you end up crushing it on Etsy and you become a success story and you can attribute some of that future success to watching this video, I'm very accessible. Whether you want to email me, drop a comment on my video, join my Facebook group and just ping me there. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have you on to share your success story as an interview. You know, I do daily content on this YouTube channel, so that would be awesome. I do wish you the best, guys. Go take action, launch that Etsy shop, get your products, your well-researched, well-designed products, make them available for sale, optimize the listings, rinse, repeat, and just, you know, keep an eye on the fourth quarter. That's my last tip. You want one good last tip from me? The fourth quarter is when a ton of sales come in. So if it's like July and you're watching this video, don't worry. All right. It's about August. It's about September. It's about October, November, December. It's really about November, December. But the end of the year, your sales expectations go up quite a bit. So don't lose sight of that, guys. Don't lose hope. This clearly works. I mean, if you don't believe it, join my print-on-demand Facebook group, join a community of successful sellers, but it's a mix. It's not just successful sellers. It's the full range. All right. And people are really great about helping each other out there. So I'd recommend that as well. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon with a new video.